Surprise, surprise, everybody. Guess where we are? The big show. No better place to be here as we get locked and loaded for the Daytona 500. But that's tomorrow. Tonight, we are looking at the Daytona Duels, and this should be a good one showing up here so far. So let's take a look at where our guys are ended up here so far. I do want to admit, take a one peek at this starting lineup here so far. This is going to be determining the inside line for tomorrow. So these guys are going to be racing to figure out where they start in this dual setup. Sean Bounty, Tracy Souls, John Kazaza, Mike Lockwood, and Rick Nichols here in the front five. Let's get it going here as we are catching up just in time to see the 34 of Sean Bounty's Toyota get away here. And I got to admit, I am not surprised to see this these guys breaking away here. I don't expect anything less from the big show as we come away with another great drive here. This coming as a Saturday special to you guys from the Simtrax Broadcasting Company here as we look at Tracy Souls on the outside rolling around. Shows to be in the number 16 in the ticker Chevrolet, but is the 6 on the car. But we'll go ahead and regardless, that 6 is going to work out for us here so far. Top line where everybody's rotating here so far. It seems to be rotating A-OK. I will admit, well, it'll be just me tonight. I do not see Miss Stella out here tonight. I don't believe she's going to be able to catch up with me here tonight, but she will be with us tomorrow. John Kazaza moving on the inside line, and a couple of questions have been asked here at this 2.5 mile track. Where is the best place to be? Inside line, outside line, behind somebody, out front with fresh air, and that's really questions that are hard to be answered and are different between each driver. Some guys like that fresh air spot out front. Other guys like being able to be in the draft. You talk to somebody like Landon Gentry, he likes pushing. You get Heath Rutherford or Zane Touchton. These guys like being in the lead, but don't count out somebody like Landon Gentry waiting for that last lap to get slung on by. Sean Bounty and Tracy Souls still 1 and 2 here. Outside line not moving too much, but I will admit Daytona is famous for waiting that outside line. As soon as it heats up, it's going to start picking up speed. The key is when these guys do want to start picking up speed and start making the passes, they've got to get almost nose to tail and start making it work. When you look at drivers like George Cushman here, he has got to give a push. He is the anchor of that outside line, and he's got to get that lane moving, but it's not going to be easy, as the outside line can definitely get a little weird there, especially if you got guys bouncing off the bottom apron. Richard Miles there, we saw his Chevrolet. He's on and off here, and I don't know quite. I think what he's probably trying to do is reach out there for some fresh air. But if you're somebody like the 13th, George Cushman, I'm watching somebody dropping off the track that may have some trouble during the turn, bounce back up and take me out. So you've got to be super, super careful if he's going to get loose or if this is going to cause a problem later on down the run. Only 50 laps in this heat, so we'll kind of talk about a little bit what happens here. This should be determining the top 10 drivers in the lane here is where they're going to go. But I will say, you guys know the big show, and these guys like paying out money to the drivers, especially when you come up and put on a great show out here. These guys are going to be, I believe, battling for $50 for each heat to see who wins. Right now, Sean Bounty lining up for that shot there, and I will say, Bounty has been really on a hot streak as of late. He's been doing a lot of great work out front, staying clean, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm looking for Dalton, Trevor Dalton. There he is. Trevor Dalton right now sitting in the 11th position in his Toyota here in the back. Now, I would be a little concerned seeing where Dalton is. No UPS back in the FedEx machine. He is sitting on the outside, and he's kind of trapped. We definitely know how he likes to run, and that's fast and out front. So Trevor Dalton now trapped here in the 11th position. Watching that 28 once again kind of seesawing back and forth here of Richard Miles. Miles, there he goes, off the track a little bit, sends the number 1 in the wall and collects him. Yikes. A lot of drivers caught up in that one. Trevor Dalton especially being one of them. Zane Touchton is one. Greg Corson is the other. And Engstrom back here has been caught up. I don't believe Mike Presley, he's ended up surviving, but got caught up in a little bit of that. Steve Taylor and Michael Ball. Ball running here in the 35 Ford, so he'll have to chase down Sylvain Sigwin. He's going to be running him down, but it's when you see wrecks like that, trying to catch back up to the pace, that's going to be even harder from a lot of these guys who have been up front most of the night. So I know Richard Miles right now getting an earful for him getting way loose here at Daytona. Big thing you want to do is if you're out here driving, drag that left foot on the brake. It'll help slow you down and kind of steady the car to keep it from bobbing and weaving as much. And that may be something he needs to take into account here at Daytona, because of only 7 laps here in this heat, boy, and you start doing that out there in the feature, some of these guys are going to have a target on your back, kind of keeping that move. Jamie Shaw of the admin team, number 84 Toyota on the outside, seeing if he can push his way around. Doing pretty well so far. He's going to follow behind the number 11 of Michael Lockwood. Check that out. We also got James Napier out here in his Chevrolet. Right now, Toyota leading the charge. Next Toyota you will see will be the one of Jamie Shaw, and then Sylvain Seguin after that in the number 66. The inside line has been prevailing most of this heat here. It seems to be doing pretty well. Looks like everybody might be kind of considering filing in single file. Not using any door draft at this point in the race, but it definitely winds down and makes you question whether you're in the right lane, especially if you're in the front. I mean, if you're somebody like Dustin Wade right now, you're kind of begging these guys behind you to give you a push. So the only thing he can do is actually snug down on the drivers on the inside and ask them to kind of, hey, man, push me. Don't be nervous. But he may have to drop down like close to the 6 there or closer to the 115 to see if he can get a little bit of that door draft to get that lane starting to move. But as wiggly as you see that number 11 car, Michael Lockwood, getting there, I probably wouldn't. That could be definitely a bad area to be. Trying to stay calm and stay in one piece, as we see a bunch of these guys who were in the back of the field ended up getting mashed up there a little bit, and they'll be chasing the field for the rest of the time. We're taking a look back here. Greg Corzin linking up with, I believe that is Zane. And maybe Zane Touchton behind him. I think both of them are in the number 1 car. Zane Touchton should be in a 39 Toyota. Trevor Dalton, he's way off the pace here, and he's going to keep running it down. And Greg Blazin was not able to get behind the wheel here so far. Rotating back up front, looks like that outside line is kind of coming apart at the seams here. 68 car dials back to the inside, now leaving George Cushman in the front with the number 11 to help push. Whoa! Richard Miles watching that one happen. First caution is out. Definitely tumbling it up here. Some big names out here from the admin team. Sigwin's out here, and Jamie Shaw are out here. Next heat should bring a couple of other drivers. But talk to me here, Ray. What in the world? What's the caution about here?
Okay, we have a maximum of 2 cautions. So I threw the first one with that accident that happened a few laps ago, let them continue to race. And so that'll be caution number 1. Second caution won't come out any earlier than lap 30. So if they wreck again, they're going to have to deal with it. So only 2 cautions.
Man, it's just, what are you finding to be a successful line out here, Ray? Because I know on the first race of the qualifiers throughout the month, you ended up winning the first race. So obviously you know what needs to happen. What's the key to these guys staying kind of in line here and not getting so loose?
Well, that fastest line is the top, but we have to seat it. We have to get rubber down on that top line, seat that high line down, and that runs about 4 miles an hour faster than the bottom. But if the top stays disorganized, like a lot of swaying back and forth, then the inside line goes back to the advantage. So we're looking for that high line to come in later tonight.
Alrighty, how critical are tires here at a super speedway like this?
You know, a lot of guys don't like to take tires, but the only critical part to tires is coming out of the pits. A lot of guys who don't change tires will mess up their pits by either spinning out, losing control of the car on the way out. So if we grab one side or the other, typically lefts, that allows you to stabilize on the way out without much time loss on pit road.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because some people do kind of have that back and forth theory. If they come down pit, get tires on a green flag stop, it's almost suicide. You lose the draft. But if it's a caution, it's almost silly not to take tires, because you're bunching them all back up again anyway. And the last thing you want to do is lose the draft at a super speedway like Daytona or Talladega.
Exactly. So I'm looking at some of the guys now. They didn't take tires. They took a splash, but they still won't make it to 50. They'll have to come back one more time.
Wow.
So most likely will be under green flag conditions.
Wow, yeah, definitely. And that's what we were talking about earlier, is just taking tires on a green flag just might not be a really, really good idea here. But fortunately, like I said, with you throwing out that caution there, that allows those guys in the back like Trevor Dalton and Michael Ball and Greg Corzin to be able to get caught back up, because that was they were definitely losing the pile there, and it just wasn't getting any better.
Yeah, we had one driver staying too close to the apron, caught it, and caused that accident when he came back up.
Yeah, I think we were
So,
looking at,
but
I believe it was the number 28, kind of bounced off the bottom of Richard Miles. And he had been doing a little bit there. From your angle, looking at the 28 kind of going below the yellow line a whole bunch during this race. Any idea why he would be doing that?
no, well, yeah, we mentioned on the radio for him to correct and stay up because we knew at some point he was going to get caught and it was going to, offset his chassis and throw him up the track, and it ultimately did.
Man, yeah.
I'm not.
You hate to see it, though. You know, you kind of watch for a couple laps, you're like, man, I don't know. That guy might want to be careful. Might want to be, oh, man, something happened. You know, and then it gets
Mhm.
worse. Is it kind of a good idea? I've heard some veteran drivers out there say they actually hover that left foot, if not drag the brake a little bit, trying to settle the car down. Just make sure it doesn't bob and weave like you see. Is that something you do, or is that
Yeah,
for the unfit ones?
yeah. It just depends on the aerodynamics that what you're in, the group you're in. You'll notice some of the guys will sway back and forth while they're tightly packed. They start thawing back and forth, and some of that thaw is just aerodynamics, and they're trying to correct it, but they end up overcorrecting versus dragging the brake will straighten it out, just ever so slightly. It doesn't take a lot of pressure on the brake, but it will settle it up.
Okay. So I know you do build a lot of these cars out here, Ray, and my question being, have you set the cars up a little loose, or have you tightened these cars up for these guys out here?
For the nighttime, they're a little tighter than normal, because we're going into the night. The lights are on now, and the temperature's going to drop. I have overcast conditions, 65 degrees with no wind, so the cars will be really fast, but they'll be a little bit tight, and then they'll get stronger as the night goes on.
Alrighty, well, definitely cool air. A warm track definitely helps a lot of these drivers out there, especially when
Hmm.
they're out here running on a cold track, man. Some say it's like driving on ice in the first 4 or 5 turns if you don't get those tires heated up.
Right, exactly.
All right,
So
man.
here we have two guys. Two guys did not pit, so that's going to come in. I think Cushman and uh,
Couch.
and Couch. They didn't pit, so that's going to throw them off pit cycle with these others. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And my whole thing is even if not fuel and no tires, some of the guys who may have taken tires, which I believe start back there with Sylvain in the 12th position, this could offset some of the speed out there. I wouldn't think so,
Hmm.
but if they're looking to work that outside line, that would probably be perfect. But green flag is back out, and it looks like Couch and
All right,
Bushman are going to get started here.
alrighty. Well, I'll come back when you need me.
Cool. Appreciate it, Ray.
All right, see you in a bit.
Everybody, that is Ray Garcia on the radio there. He's definitely giving us some few clues to the ones out here who may be thinking a different strategy. Outside line is absolutely failing here for Jordan Cushman. I hate to see it. It looks like Jamie Shaw is going to go out there and assist him. Can't blame him at all. Watch that 84 to give him a shove, and he is. He's got to be careful. You see how that 84 is sliding back and forth on his bumper. Holy cow. And if there's one way you turn somebody, that's exactly, if you're looking to turn him, that's what you do. Let's ride along here with Jamie Shaw, who's behind the 13. Right now, these guys are, Ben Shaw now sitting sixth. Most of the Toyotas here in the top 10. Right now, 2, 6, and 7. Outside line going to work up in exactly the way that Ray Garcia was talking about here. You want to set this car up for a tight run. You want to get it okay, but the outside line has got to start building up rubber. Build up rubber, it's going to get that outside line working, but if the more disorganized it gets, the worse it's getting. And right now you see some disorganization here from George Cushman, not feeling too confident the way Jamie Shaw is pushing him here. Sliding all over the track on the way out of two, not looking very, very hot here. Side by side, at least starting back here in the 5th, 6th position. And it goes double wide on back. With the front four, Couch, Boundy, Kazaza, and Dustin Wade. 1, 2, 3, and 4 getting broken away here. Really with almost no competition really to keep up. Outside line may have to figure something out here. I know the admin team has been practicing almost all month, but what I would probably say is if the admin team knows that outside line is faster, expect to see them on Sunday getting linked up on that outside line and making it work. And if we guys remember anything from last race we were at, Roger Buff Racing came out and just put on a clinic out there. It was insane. Roger Buff himself actually ended up leading almost half the race, which was crazy. Because especially when you get a guy out here, almost a no-name to some of us, especially here at Simtrack Broadcast, to go out there and then just start doing crazy things out there, pushing, getting the leads that he was at a super speedway with him and just one other driver is kind of insane. Normally you need 4 or 5 to do the same, but it's not the same this way. And also the Big Show would like to welcome Imperium Motorsports. They're going to be new to the server here. Most of the drivers that you know before, I believe Ken Couch, Douglas Ross, Thomas Stewart, and Chris Vickery there are here tonight. Not too many of them here in this heat, as we're going to be lining up with a second heat. Oh, yep, I was waiting. I just got ready to take a breath there. We got a couple of drivers, especially Mike Presley, backwards. Fortunately, huzzah, throw your hands up in the air for the Big Show. Cars are self-healing. Back out onto the track, Mike Presley in his 44 Chevrolet, kind of chewed up here a little bit. Charles Keller. I believe that should be Charles Keller and the, looks like the Green Bay Packers. James Napier, yep. He may have had a little slide there, but he's broken way away here. And Rick Nichols ended up getting in that pile up as well. Let's stay up to the front where Zane Touchton is. He's sitting in the front of the 16 of Tracy Souls, 6 on the car. Continuing around this way, do want to appreciate you guys joining us here at Simtrack's Broadcast. If you want to tune in to everything we're doing and check out our schedule, if you want to line up a broadcast with us, go to simtracksbroadcasting.com. You'll be able to find everything we're doing there and get loaded up for some fun out there. We definitely do all sorts of things. Whether you're on the dirt or on the asphalt, we'll be there. So don't forget to tune in, like, and subscribe. We are across Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I know most of you guys out there love that YouTube one. You can definitely give it a skip forward or a skip back, rewind it real quick and see something cool. But we definitely try to give you as many replays as absolutely possible here while we're live. Sean Bounty still leading this race here. He did come down pit a lap 11 without tires. Fuel and go for him. He's, as Ray was saying, we may have guys back down here going back and forth, whether they decide to stay, whether they decide to get tires or not. I don't notice much of a fall off out there. Sean Bounty just ran his best time of a 44.11 out there. And had a good 1 and 2. But Bounty, Kazaza, Wade, and Couch both running their best turn 1 and 2 last lap. So far, so good as everybody continuing their way around. And I wouldn't say anybody out here is really a finger to point at to say this is the guy to win the race. Some guys may be faster than others, and sometimes you'll kind of have that person outside the normal who is able to just come out here and capitalize on good drafting, good choices, good lane choice, and really hard racing. Exactly what you want to do. And the Big Show is a great place to put it. And the way I also look at it is, one, these guys are racing for a little bit of money. You're coming out here and challenging Ray Garcia and his admin team. These guys have been practicing all month. If you're not out here practicing with them, I would probably say you're already starting on the back foot. 2, these guys have auto-healing cars. You won't end up a lap down. They'll bunch them back together, and you retry again. And if you guys are looking to join, also, simtrackbroadcasting.com will also send you to the Big Show, whether it be their Facebook page or their website, or you can, and then you can head there, or if you just head there directly, and you can sign up and see what it takes to get in here. Qualifying has been most of the month, practicing and setting up these cars most of the month. Last chance qualifier, next Daytona Duels it will be. This one will be determining inside row behind the leader. Bounty looking to go ahead and get that #1 spot here, as he's been leading most of this race. Seems to know how to get in front, and I'm not sure what he's doing different than everybody else. Bounty and Kazaza both started 1 and 2, have yet to move a position just yet. I will say Couch has moved up 12 positions, and Sylvain Sigwin has moved into 5th. So far, so good out of the admin team trying to get up here, but not quite just yet. He's got a long way to go, and see if Sylvain and Jamie Shaw can get something going here and push their way to the front. But single file for most everybody, and pit stops are starting to happen for the guys who may have not pit already. Ken Couch is on his way in. Engstrom is coming in as well, and looks like 13 is off the track. George Cushman slid off the track there. So these guys coming down pit. And they're back to the front here. So looks like the 13 may have to hold. And unless there's another caution, that may wipe him out for the race. 13 Chevrolet staying in the pit road here, and I would assume he is probably going to be serving a penalty for his entry. Let's keep on the front here as Jamie Shaw is now up to 5th with these guys pitting. Boundy and Kazaza still in the front. And I haven't seen a lot of John Kazaza lately. I know he's kind of been out a couple of races here, but when he does come out, you can guarantee a top 10 by him in that 115 Ford. So great job by him moving up to this position. I just don't know what it's going to take to beat Sean Boundy. Now, Sean Boundy and Trevor Dalton did very, very well there at Bristol in the knockout, and they're continuing to do well here. Trevor Dalton is now battling back up. He's sitting 10th right now, and he's after that last bang up there, he's trying to see if he can get a little something going. He is getting pushed there by Greg Corzin, and Michael Ball should be behind him in that number 35. So it's interesting to see what different angles these guys go at during the race. I'm not 100% sure what can be done. I mean, Trevor Dalton is about 6 seconds before he finds the next guy in line. Definitely a long, long way back here, and with only being with 3 of them here, he's at least got a little something, but he's not going to be able to pick up as much speed as these other guys. So a lot tougher for Trevor Dalton, Corzin, and Michael Ball here, but they will be able to survive the race. Get back up front where it looks like double wide here, a little farther in the background as these guys are coming back off pit road. Couch Cushman, Rick Nichols, and Richard Miles are down lap. That should be Cushman. They're rolling here in the back. These guys are trying to get back up to speed. Fortunately, a catch back up to the lead pack guys, but offset pitting may cost them later on. There they go, snug in behind, and then what you'll see is these guys actually won't fall off as bad. Fuel and go from both of them. I see Ken Couch had a 10.5-second pit stop time, so he may have taken rights. I probably would agree with that. It might tighten up the race car just a hair. A couple other guys going here so far. Everything seems pretty calm and cool out there. Let's see if we can grab one of our guys up top and see if we can have a chat with him. Michael Wiley, you got a copy? Uh-oh. There he is. Hey, Michael. Hey, I hate to surprise you. I know you're not in this heat tonight. Kind of watching this race out here and what these guys are doing. What you kind of thinking the same thing that Sean Boundy's doing, just kind of fuel and go and staying out front?
I tell you what, that's a good plan, but plans don't work very good in this place. I've won 3 races at this track so far this month, but I tell you what, we did a race earlier today, and I was caught up in the 5 where I never seen the front. So honestly, it's just luck of the draw here.
Oh yeah, well, it's super speedway racing, man. There is no rhyme or reason why things happen out here. It can be back and forth for, 30, 40 laps. Other times it can be dead in the water, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can lead every single lap, like I believe you did there at Michigan. So how critical, I talked to Ray, how critical are tires to you when you come out to this track?
I don't think tires are important at all. I know, it can be kind of slippery getting off pit road, but once you get up to 80, 90 miles an hour, tires aren't a factor at all. Unless, you lock them up coming into pit road, then you're going to kill them. It's not a big deal at all.
Alrighty, I have seen through about the past year or so that taking tires during a green flag run is probably one of the sillier things that you can do. That's a good way to shave off 7 seconds and you lose the field. But it's always a good idea to take tires if it's a caution. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, usually what I do, and I know a lot of other people do, if you've got to take 11 gallons of fuel, that's going to take 8-9 seconds anyway. So I'll take left side under green, and then I'll take right sides under caution because it takes a little bit longer to get right sides on there. That way I'm not on the same set of tires the whole race.
Ah, okay. I was going to ask you why take lefts, man. I always notice that some of these guys say taking right sides would tighten up the race car, but you would decide to take lefts. Huh. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully we haven't let too many secrets out here, Michael Wiley, and really, you've won a bunch here. Now, seeing that most of the admin team is not out here on the track, that means a bunch of you are lined up for for round 2. Outside line, is that where you guys want to be?
Yeah, so you're going to see a bunch of us trying to find each other and work together. I don't know why the outside line is not working on this race. We can usually get stuck along pretty good here. Maybe when we have another caution here and they bunch it up, it may come in. As you know, people are going to get more aggressive the further this race goes on. But you'll definitely see us using that outside line to our advantage in this next race. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's as Ray would say, disorganized. That's what it looked like. Is it just it forms up a little bit, but it just doesn't seem the anchor of the line contributes. You know, you get 2 guys, nose to tail, and then 3 and 4 don't want to do anything. They lay way too far back, and the outside line just kind of scrubs away. But Michael Wiley, hopefully we'll see how well you do in Heat 2.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, everybody, that'll be Michael Wiley out there. We'll talk to a couple of other guys as we keep going here. Jamie Shaw and Sylvain Seguin there with the Big Show leading the race now, 1 and 2. Zane Touchton will be the 3rd. James Napier 4th, and Sean Boundy is actually back in 5th. But a lot of guys have yet to pit as of yet. I know Sylvain needs to come down pit. James Napier is on his way down now. And I don't know how long he can hang out there. Both Seguin and Touchton last pit on lap 11. And so did Rick Nichols, but he's down a lap sitting 10th. 19 laps left to go in this one. I know money is on the line. I think this is kind of one of those money's on the line, but it's not the first thing these guys are thinking of. Right now they're thinking tomorrow starting position is where they've got to be thinking. I've got to get in the front, the front 5 rows. I've got to start top 10 because you start, somewhere in that back 25, the back 30, you're in trouble. Because I believe it is a 40 to 42 driver list. And most of these guys are definitely going to be thinking, that is not where I want to be. You're in the back of the pack. You're watching everything happen. If a wreck happens, row 6, row 8, you're in it. There's no way of getting around it when these guys are especially right now looking at Sylvain doing 206 miles an hour out there. That's exactly what you don't want. You're farther in the back of the pack. Where I'm even looking at, Tracy Souls sitting 8th is doing 203. And that's row 4. So that could just be so tough if these guys are side by side for the first 30, 40 laps. A wreck happens. You want to be way in the front, not farther in the back. So most of these guys would appreciate a little money getting paid up front, heading after these heats. But right now, if you're Sylvain or Jamie Shaw or John Cazaza and Sean Boundy, these guys are trying to make sure they get this win here in the heat to start in the front row, pole position tomorrow at the Daytona 500, which yours truly and I will have Stellar Stella here to kick it into overdrive for that race. I believe it's 200 laps for that one, and it should be a doozy here at Daytona. So we're putting a lot of rubber out on the track here tonight. I know they'll also be looking at what we're going to have heading into March. That should be a wild run there as well. I can't wait to see what they choose. I know Auto Club of Fontana has been kind of checked out of the race via the NASCAR circuit. This will be the last time that Auto Club will be Auto Club before it gets revamped or torn down a little bit and traded for something else. Most of the admin team, Seguin, Shaw, Zane Touchton, and I believe Rick Nichols are coming down. These are your 4. Interesting to see 66 machine cutting down the pit boxes. Don't know 100% if that's okay, but they are out in front in the lead. Let's rotate our way back out there as Cazaza. These guys were way behind. I think they had just about everybody behind them down a lap. Cazaza looking to close the gap here just a little bit. So far, so good. Touchton still in the lead. Shaw half a second. Cazaza reeling him in. So yeah, time cutting down here. Big time slice in half there. Running them down. It looks like fueling goes. If not, it's a couple side tires for Touchton, Shaw, and Seguin here. They've got to run them down. They might be in some trouble. Let's rotate up front there a little bit. Here they are getting back up to speed. Let's take a look back where that line is. Nichols is the one following there. That's the leaders. Great pit stop by the admin team there. Touch and go back out front and able to maintain the lead. So excellent job here by Zane Touch and Jamie Shaw. Sylvain in the front. Excellent job. Outside line, going to try to form up on this one and give it another go by the guys who have been out here on the track most of the night. Staying in front, outside line, starting to pick up a little pace here. Now we might have an overthrow. See here, looks like John Kazaza is getting the push that he needs. Outside line is going to capitalize on it and move around. Kazaza in the lead. Oh, no. Well, so much for that. Looks like the 44, Mike Presley, caught up in that one. May have cut down way too early. And he's going to have his spotter's job as the caution is out. Got a slow car up on the track. If I agree, kind of be below the yellow line, not ruin everybody else's race there, but caution comes out. No, we talked to Ray before. If it's after lap 30, they'll go ahead and throw their second caution out there. Let's go ahead and drum up that caution replay and see what happened here. All right, taking a look at it here, you do see how that 44 machine is working his way on down. And that's what ends up causing the trouble. I mean, immediately right off the bat here. Gets these guys hammered around, and that's exactly what you don't want to see. As the car turning sideways and then rotating back up the track. And it ends up wiping out the rest of the field here, especially when you had guys coming right off a pit here. I believe that's even a 34 is upside down. He has Sean Boundy on his lid. There he goes, trying to do the GTA there a little bit. Try to get the tires turned to see if he can flip the car over. Wow. Sean Boundy still tumbling around. Wow, wow. All right, now we'll kind of keep an eye and see where everybody decides. Where everybody decides to come back out onto the track. And what pit strategies may or may not be. Zaza still has the lead here. Sigwin sitting second, Souls third, Dustin Wade in fourth, and Trevor Dalton sitting with a solid top five. So far, so good out of these guys here on the track. Let's see if we can grab a hold of... let me see if we can grab a hold of Heath Rutherford here. Let's try this. All right. Hopefully he's not playing race control right now. Heath Rutherford, you got a copy?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, from the outside looking in on this heat, you will be in heat number 2. What is it? What what are you going to do different than what you're seeing out here?
I just stay out of the chaos, but also try to stay in the top 10. So that's kind of hard to do, though.
I was going to say, well, seeing the past couple of races we've seen you in, chaos seems to keep finding you. You know, yeah. What's the idea to kind of stay away from it?
I have no idea. If you stay in the front, I usually get turned. If I'm in the back to try to dodge it, I get in it. So, honestly, hopefully I just flash through it or something.
Yeah, well, that may be a possibility. Some of the guys up there I've been talking to here a little bit, if the admin team can get clutched together, you guys have a better chance of success. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. We always bump together well.
All righty. Well, you will be starting with Michael Wiley, Ray Garcia, and Landon heading into the Heat 2 here. Really, You're seeing the outside line kind of fail here so far in this heat. You think you guys can make it work well in your heat?
Yeah. These people, they're not doing it right, but if they can just side draft better, then it works.
There you go. I was going to say, if you've got Landon, somebody who doesn't let off the gas and push like hell, man. Definitely, I know you end up being a leader a lot of the time, and Landon pushes you most of the time. Is that kind of, it seems to be working pretty well, week in and week out?
Yeah, he's a really good pusher. He can get you around the track really quick. And you can pull away.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's see how you guys handle it. You guys, I believe the track is going to be coming here to 2 wide. Heath Rutherford out there in the chat. I'm supposed to ask you, what's the script?
Oh, to put the 98 in the front and wreck Landon. He don't need to win nothing. He don't need to win nothing else.
All right, yeah, definitely try to make sure you get that money in your pocket. It's not filling his. Heath Rutherford, appreciate talking to you, man.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. All right, everybody, Heath Rutherford always gets me every time. We should be lining up double file here as the pace car lights are off. This should be a wild one here so far. I notice Cade Jones is not out here on the track either, so a good chunk of the admin team is actually going to be in that run there. Right now I'm looking at most of Imperium Motorsports out there, and Team 1 with Dalton Boundy, Dustin Wade, Greg Corza, and Jeff Napier all in this heat. Interesting enough to see. But I'm curious to see what all comes after this. I mean, these guys are kind of figuring out where a good place to be, how to kind of smooth everything out here. But I don't know how they're going to make it work. Everybody says we can make that outside line work, a heck of a lot better than what they're doing now. But how are they going to do it? No one can quite 100% tell me, but we'll definitely try out there. Bowden Motorsports, just call you Mr. Punctuality. Hey, have no fear, man, on the timing of you getting here. This is actually a surprise broadcast for you guys. The Big Show made sure to give me a call up and see what my schedule's looking like, and this was actually, we can mark this in the history books of Simtrax Broadcasting, my first doubleheader. We just came from the Graceland Shootout Series, and now we are here at the Big Show. Tomorrow, guys, don't forget to tune in. Starting at 5 o'clock, the Daytona 500. The guys who you see here practicing are getting Heat 1 for the inside line. Heat 2 will be up shortly after the next 10 or 11 laps out here on the track to determine Heat 2. And then we should be getting ready for that. And then the Big Show will be tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock, 200 laps at Daytona, so we are not leaving this track here in Florida. But John Cazaza trying to see if he can leave the rest of the pack here, unable to do so. Sylvain trying to hold the outside line, 68 behind him of Dustin Wade. And outside line going to try it one more time here. Jamie Shaw, the anchor position, sitting third. If the 84 can snug up to the 68 there a little bit, that's what I notice is seem to be a better workout here. Taking a look at Trevor Dalton. Dalton's kind of got the same idea. You see how close Dalton's getting to the 6, but the 6 is actually slacking off. There you go. Give a little push, and now you see how the anchor of the team there, sitting third or fourth, is actually able to get that inside line moving again. Jamie Shaw snugs much closer to the 68 of Dustin Wade. And see if he can get a little more speed going on here. Boy, there we go. There's a nice clean lap. Everybody staying all in one piece here. Not as much wiggling as we saw before, but outside line definitely starting to break down once again. High line for the number 1. I believe that actually might be Zane Touchman out there. He's doing some wiggling around again. He was in an earlier wreck. And now the outside line seems to have broken away here. Jamie Shaw is splitting off the field. No, Zane, what are you doing, man? Away he goes. Through the grass, back up onto the track. Hopefully he doesn't take anybody out there. Oof. Zane Touchman now out of the running. He'll be back at it again later on here in the actually probably tomorrow. 8 laps left to go here. Sigwin, Wade, Jamie Shaw, and the way you saw Boundy doing, Sean Boundy out there, you would expect him to be in the lead here. Boundy back to 8th position. He had to give a huge check up there not to get caught up in that wreck. Fortunately, it did not take out the rest of the field, as it looked like Zane was turned and around he go. 34 trying to make the outside line. Thinking about it, Boundy in trouble. Whoa! Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, I expect race control to probably throw a caution on this one. I think only the top 5 are still on the track. Seguin, Wade, Sean, Engstrom here. It looks like Trevor Dalton. Nichols survived. Charles Keller. And I think everybody else got caught up in that. Holy cow. Yeah, that would be the big one out there, Bowden Motorsports. Adam Bowden, appreciate you joining us, man. Hey, over there in the Racing Revolution League, make sure you find a team, man. Make sure you find a team. You should be out there doing a little work, man. Doing a little work. Doing a little work right now is going to be Trevor Dalton, right now sitting 5th. That's going to be in that top 5th, well, at least the inside of the 5th row. So he should be starting in 9th place. Unless he tries to get a couple more moves here. 6 laps to go at the line. I know a couple of drivers out there kind of hanging their head after that last wreck. Hate to see that one happen. Let's see if we can talk to a couple of the drivers out here before we get going here. I know Landon's watching this. Let's see if we can grab a hold of Landon Gentry out here in the chat. Landon, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. Well, we talked to Heath a little bit. I've talked to Ray. I've talked to Michael Wiley. Most of you guys will be in Heat 2. From what you're seeing out here on the track, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like this race is going to be interesting after the duel, but hopefully we all get together in duel number 2 and work together to get front.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of wrecks out here is just miscommunication, I guess, with the spotter. Some of these guys kind of seem to be sliding around a bit, just kind of not quite clear, and then getting turned. And it's going to be hard to kind of figure out what guys are able to do back and forth. But I want to get your take here on that outside line. Why is the outside line failing so much here tonight? When I know, and you and I both know, that outside line is the faster line on the track.
I just think they can't get enough people to go up there because they don't trust each other yet. Like maybe near the end here, they could go up if there were more, but they're just not trusting each other enough to get up there.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you on that. I'm kind of thinking, that if you don't know the guy, last thing I would want somebody doing is sliding across my rear bumper and turning me, and even if it's by accident. It's hard to battle back to the front. I mean, if you're like Sean Bounty right now, he's sitting 10th, way off the pace now because of that last spin out. Zane Touchton, caught up in another caution, has ended up here toward the back, and I just don't know, when it comes to the Daytona 500 tomorrow, what are we learning today that these guys can take on tomorrow? I mean, it's gonna be tough if the track conditions change from what we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, I think track conditions will be the same, but tonight we're just learning how hard can you push the car in front of you, and like how hard can you get on and hit stops and everything.
All right,
how hard do you push the limits? Yeah,
I know the admin team, you guys are kind of a clutch. You guys all work 10 or 12 of you all together. But I always throw it back to the, when you guys did the military tribute one. And I always think with you, Zane Touchton, and Heath Rutherford out there. Or even when you guys ran the throwback series, you and Heath Rutherford as well. Is those the kind of guys you're looking to have around you, coming into Daytona tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for Heath and Zane, because they're both part of the admin team. So hopefully they can help me get up to the front and we can help each other. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you're going to be trying to make it not a 2-time champ, but a 3-time champ. Landon, definitely, I can't wait to see what you guys coming up. Only about 2 laps left in this one, and we'll see you out on the track. Good luck.
Yeah, I just want to say, whatever Heath said about the script is wrong. He's the one being wrecked, but I don't know.
Ah, okay. So he's supposed to get turned and not you.
Yeah, he read it wrong, I think.
All right, Landon. Glad you were tuned in, man. Let's see what you got in this next heat.
All right.
All right, everybody. That is Landon Gentry. He should be in the number 32, I believe. In the second heat. Only 2 laps left to go right now. Here is the at least 2 of the admins. Sylvain Seguin here in the front, and Jamie Shaw sitting third. Dustin Wade trying to see if he can get a little more here to get pushed around for this heat. But big move here. Dustin Wade on the outside, but no help. If Jamie Shaw had followed along, he would have been able to do it. But you're not part of the admin team. Guess what part you just lost? Away he goes. He's going to be marching back, and Dustin Dustin Wade. Wow, what a teammate there. It looked like Trevor Dalton. Went ahead and let him back in. Yeah, I wish Dalton, when the 68 went out there, if Dalton kind of followed along beside him, may have been able to push him. But it looks like Sigwin and Shaw, 1 and 2 here. That is going to be the big move by these drivers out here. What a wild run this has become. For him to come that far. Now, I will say, Sylvain has come up 16 positions, but Shaw going for the 11th here in the front. Yeah! Jamie Shaw with a last turn pass. Jamie Shaw, 11 positions, he got it. Sylvain ended up second, so he'll end up with a little bit of green in his pocket. Engstrom sitting third. Dustin Wade was fourth, and Trevor Dalton fifth. Dude. How about you, Sylvain's like, dude, what was that? How can you do that to me? Definitely a toss-up there. Excellent job by our drivers. These guys are going to get finished up for heat number 1. And that gets us ready for heat number 2. We did get queued in just a hair bit late for heat number 1. But that's okay. The big show waits for no one. But we'll go ahead and get started on the starting grid for the second round. Looks like Lee Tidwell will be starting in the front position next to Thomas Stewart. Kay Jones and Dennis Shute will be starting in the 4th position. Jason Stevenson and Mike Petrin starting 5 and 6. Jeremy Buckerin starting 7th with Blake Maddow. I will admit, a lot of no names I haven't seen here before. So hats off to these guys getting some front spots. Danny Shaw will be 9th with Michael Wiley in 10th. Nick Biddy will be 11th with Heath Rutherford in 12th. So good chunk of drivers that we do know, some we don't. Douglas Ross will be sitting 13th. Ray Garcia 14th. Joe David will be in the 15th position. And Chris Vickery on the outside of row 8. Row 9 will be starting with Landon Gentry, Jeff Napier, Tom Barish, and Sean Royer. Starting 20th, and James Jepson. Check that out. James Jepson seems like a familiar name. Haven't seen him out here before, but hopefully he'll be able to battle his way to the front. The way I look at it here, if you made it all, the entire month and you were able to win into this part, at least you were getting a starting run here at this next kick here. So good job by all these drivers out here so far as they're getting behind the pace car. Tidwell and Stewart in the front. Non-admins here starting on that front row. I would say, from the outside looking in, this is excellent because this is their opportunity, to kind of show this admin team what it's all about. But for the ones who weren't racing, this is their chance to actually kind of toss this one up just a little bit and say, okay, well, what we saw from the first heat, let's not duplicate that. Let's try to do something a little different. Kay Jones will be the first of the admin team here in the front in that number 4 Miller Lite machine to try to see if he can get caught up with somebody else. I believe the next one should be Michael Wiley sitting in the 48. You see him outside row there, I believe, in front of Heath Rutherford. So that outside lane will actually be the one to kind of form up here a little bit. Michael Wiley, then you have Heath Rutherford behind him, and it looks like Ray Garcia following right behind that. So a lot of guys here able to clump up, but let's go ahead and get this one underway. Barney, green flag in the air, let her rip. All right, there we go. Away we go. First green flag, heat 2, 50 more laps here to go. These guys will be racing for about $50, baby. They'll be able to go ahead and get a little bit there. Jamie Shaw will end up winning that one for heat 1. Great job there by Jamie Shaw. We'll grab Jamie Shaw here in just a little bit. Brian Rainville out there, Evening Syntrax. Hey, buddy, appreciate you joining us here at the big show. One the only, as we were watching these guys working their way down here at Daytona for Heat 2. This will be their form of the duels. as they line up on Sunday. Should be a good run. Definitely from what we saw in Heat 1, a couple mashups there. But definitely when it comes down to crunch time and the big money purse, these guys straighten it up there a little bit. Cade Jones gets the run out of 4, and that's exactly what you expect. Couple of guys piling up here in the back. I think Landon and Heath, oh boy. Wonder if a little something happened there. Holy cow, is that Ray on his roof? Well, Ray was on his roof. Let's take a quick little peek back at this. I want to see if Ray's on his roof. There he is. Yep, right there. Hang in there, Ray. I don't think he set the car up for that. Now let's get back live where Cade Jones for the admin team is out front. Leading a clutch of cars here. I'll probably say they're going to wait maybe 4 or 5 laps and throw out a caution. Try to clump these guys back together. I want to give a shout out there to actually Danny Shaw. I know I've kind of been overlooking him there a little bit in the 62 Toyota. He is out here with the admin team as well. Not mistaken, I think the 62 Toyota is actually, yeah, down on the bottom. Michael Wiley trying to see if he can push on the outside. I believe that is Jeremy Euchre. Down on the inside, and you're starting to see it's a single file lane, and it doesn't reach way back there before you start finding somebody. Landon Gentry leading the pack, and then Jeff Napier and Heath Rutherford. These guys kind of doing the 1-2-3 march here. Don't know how well that's going to work. I know it's definitely been mashing those cars up at that first run there. But we got a couple guys kind of switching back and forth. Michael Wiley had a faster 3 and 4. But Dennis Shutt there ended up in the 7th position, had the fastest lap on the track with a 44.36 because he had a fantastic 1 and 2 last lap. So continuing on here for Dennis Shutt here, 7th position for him in the number 7. So far so good here. Most of our drivers here, except that one tangle up there. I hate to see how that happened. Out there in the chat. Hey, Mr. Timmy, appreciate you coming out here and joining us, man. You are one dedicated dude. You coming out here and joining me just about every night. Appreciate it. Unfortunately, no dirt racing. No dirt racing tonight or tomorrow. Next time you'll see me hosting any kind of dirt will be the Coast to Coast Racing League on Tuesday. We'll be back in the Pro Late Models. We are here at the Big Show. And these guys are running the duels here tonight to determine what we are doing on Sunday. See if we can grab a hold of one of our guys who ended up in the last race and kind of see how it went out there. Let me see if we can grab a hold of Jamie Shaw. Jamie Shaw, do you got a copy out there?
Yeah, I got it.
There you go. Man, what a last lap pass. I'm sure Sylvain's ready to give you an earful.
Yeah. Going for position.
All right, well, definitely you'll be starting in the front row tomorrow. How, you know, is that kind of exactly where you want to be?
Yeah, I haven't had much luck coming from the back to the front on Daytona here, so I want to try and stay up front as much as possible.
All right, where were you finding any kind of success out there? I saw you run the top line. I saw you run the bottom line. I kind of saw you running kind of switch up here, different pit strategy. What's the key to being fast?
Most of it for me is just seeing who's driving steady and keeping up with the draft and sticking with the faster lanes.
All right, well, we saw you work that high side, and from what I'm hearing so far, everybody swears high line's the place to be. You tried the high line and it fell apart. What's the deal going on up there?
I think it just comes down to drafting partners who can bump draft and who can't.
All right, well, we saw you trying the top, and it looked like you were sliding across the bumper just a hair, but letting off the gas just enough you didn't turn the guy. It almost seemed like you needed guys behind you to give you the shove as well. Is that kind of what needs to happen?
Yeah, it's unless for 2 cars to work together, you got to break the bubble. So if you got cars behind you, you don't need to do that.
Man, yeah, no kidding. It's just it just seems to get harder and harder. Starting on this heat, or Heat 2 here, looking from the outside looking in, are you noticing anybody out there that kind of has the same mindset or is driving the same style that you and Sylvain were?
Yeah, Landon and Heath, they're pretty good at doing the bump drafting, so I'd be watching them.
All right, well, they
They'll
got
make
ended
a
up getting,
pushback.
yeah, they got tangled up in that first one that didn't bring out a caution, unfortunately. Looks like Heath Rutherford, Landon Gentry, and Jeff Napier side by 1, 2, and 3 here, trying to see if they can catch back up to the field. Is it impossible to make up a 10.5-second gap?
No, not at all. If you got the right people working together.
No kidding, man. Especially, I'm sure you're going to tell me the very political way and say, as long as I got the admin team in my corner, we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie Shaw, well, congratulations on your heat win, man. What a way to go into tomorrow. I know you've been kind of due for a good turnout, man. I know you got a couple top 10s, but I do not think I've seen you win yet.
Yeah, I think I got 2 wins.
When?
I've won Michigan, and I've won an ARCA at ISS.
Hey, what is it going to take to get more votes to have you guys head to the iRacing Super Speedway?
I'm not sure.
Man, because I've been kind of waiting for that.
It's been a while since we've been there.
Yeah, no kidding. But I look at, you guys are end up in Talladega, we're at Daytona. Hey, you guys tried Bristol, we've been in Michigan. And now that, you guys here with SimTrack's broadcast, I've got to know. I've got to see what it does, with the insane banking and the crazy speeds you guys do there.
Yeah.
That would definitely be a wild one.
It gets a little crazy in the on the entrance of the turns because it's so deep. Everybody wants to wash up on you.
Oh yeah. Well, and then the hop out of 4. I know I've raced there, and that hop out of 4, man, that'll turn a car in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it does so.
All right, Jamie Shaw, I will see you tomorrow, man. Congratulations on the heat win.
All right, thanks a lot. Take her easy.
All right, everybody, Jamie Shaw, and it looks like we have our first yellow flag is out. I would probably say, looking at what we've got here, no cars turned around, nobody mashed to pieces, and with the self-healing as these are, I don't think we'll find any damage out there. So that may be them at lap 10 putting all these cars back together, and that's exactly, to me, that's the part I like about the big show. I prefer side-by-side racing. I don't, the 3 or 4 guys racing, back to front is okay. If you're somebody like right now, like Cade Jones or Jason Stevenson right now, I'm banging my head off the dash. I really wish this didn't happen because I almost had a guaranteed win here. I only have to worry about 5 guys. We are now crunching all 21 guys back into the front again after a pit stop, and we're going to be doing it again. So definitely kind of throw their hands up in the air going, all right, well, let's try it again. I will say, if you're somebody like Landon Gentry, Heath Rutherford, they were making up some time, but the heat would be over by the time they reached up there. They were only making up about a 10th a lap, and there's just not enough time to do that. And this makes it more competitive. So really hats off to the admin team and the big show to try to bring you guys a better show out here. Wade's World 92, love the broadcasting. Dustin Wade, hey, man, appreciate you coming out here. Awesome job on the last run, man. It was definitely a wild one, and don't know quite what is going to change. I think what you're going to see is a lot of your non-rec guys are going to be in the front. And maybe your troublemakers about mid-pack. Like I said, if you're starting mid-pack or back, it's going to be a troubled one. And I just don't know what these guys can do to remedy that. Some of these guys just got to maintain calm. I mean, I think we're seeing a driver spinning around here I think that was Jeremy Buchanan out there. Yeah, I think he's the one that ended up spinning around. He's desperately trying to get in this box. Back of the pack for him as he's just now getting into his box. Man, he saw him kind of dump the clutch and give it a little loopy there, trying to get back in. Looked like he might have missed the area there, or so a little contact was made. And he got spun out, so he was going to be starting 13 positions back from where he originally started here. In the 20th position, Sean Royer is still down pit road. He'll be the last one to get back out there. 34-second pit stop for him. Definitely with self-healing cars, he shouldn't need to do any sort of repair, but I would probably say 4 tires for him, maybe throw on those racing gloves or change them out there a little bit and give it another go. But Wade's World, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. Definitely, we got all sorts of stuff going on, and I'm bringing you the big show each and every month. It's looking pretty good out of here so far. And Can't wait to see what these guys have left. Heath Rutherford, Cade Jones in the front. And talk about Heath Rutherford. Bouncing back. I think Heath Rutherford, pit road for him. There we go. Heath Rutherford, Jeff Napier coming down. I think Napier's coming back down maybe for another splash of fuel. And these are the only two down pit road right now. Interesting to see this call here. I would wonder if 4 tires for these guys to try to change it up. Definitely if they spun during the caution, which we saw, it's a great idea to put tires on, because last thing you want to do is end up with flat spots or sawing those down, so they may be able to have an upper hand on the rest of the field. Which are starting to line up 2 wide now. Kane Jones and Lee Tidwell here in the front. Douglas Ross setting 3rd and Michael Wiley 4th. Expect moves out of these 2 guys. Between Douglas Ross of, I believe, yes, I'm right. Of the Imperium Motorsports for Douglas Ross. And Michael Wiley of the admin team. So this should be a pretty good run here so far. Let's see what they can get going and figure out really what's the best lane. Outside lane has been failing pretty much all night, and I'm interested to see. I would love to see like 3 or 4 drivers of the admin team get to the outside and show us how it's done. You know what I mean? I fully believe the outside line is the faster line. It's easier on the tires. It's faster. You have more turn exit. Inside line is much, much harder to kind of hold down. But we're going to go ahead and give this one another go. Green flag is out. Cade Jones with an excellent jump here. I've heard some guys actually say getting a massive jump on a super speedway is suicide, because what'll end up happening is these 2 guys or 4 guys behind him will actually line up to the outside and sling around him, and guess who doesn't have the track? Cade Jones may go from 1st to 8th in a blink of an eye, but it seems to be holding from him so far. Douglas Ross says, yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So somebody's tuned into the broadcast here. Michael Wiley sitting behind him. The 42 machine at Tidwell now pushes Ross to the front, but Ross ducking out of the way here. It's definitely not rolling there with the admin team. He's now in Imperium Motorsports. So interesting to see him cut in front of Cade Jones here and leave Tidwell hanging out to dry. Tidwell did work with him and get separated. And try a little more there. Definitely something to try, but it's worth the shot. Taking a look through some of this. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do it. He's doing a lot of talking out there. Let's see if we can get him talking here. Let's see if I can grab a hold of him. Dustin Wade, you got a copy? Come on, you got it. You can talk to me in the chat. You can talk to me up here. Dustin Wade, come on. Nope, nothing. Douglas, Ross, Cade Jones, and Michael Wiley here trying to see if they can get a little something going here, but not quite enough room for them to get the separation they're looking for. Moving it on around here. Let's see if I can grab a hold of Sylvain. I know Sylvain was not happy about that last move. Sylvain, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
There you go. All right, I know everybody's got the things working here. Man, all right, I know it's probably a sore spot. Talk to me about the last lap pass on that heat.
Oh yeah, I knew it was coming. I mean, yeah, when you're the leader on the last lap coming out of 4, you expect somebody's going to come out or low. I was going to jump out and block them, but I said, nah, why? We're in a transfer. Stay there.
Yeah, I was going. Yeah, transfer and stay there, but man, this is starting spot heading into Daytona. This has got to be. It's got to be more than that. I know at least you guys are teammates, but it just you wonder when somebody's out there trying to do that, and you want to block, but you just don't know how to make the back end of your car 24 feet wide.
That's right, yeah. And the same thing is a teammate as well, so you don't want to take out your own teammate either.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, let's talk about Landon Gentry and Heath Rutherford. When they come to the line, do you think it matters?
And no, they'll probably be the same thing. Each one will try to win. So they either do the same things I did, or one of them's gonna try and block the other.
Alrighty. So would it be safe to say that's okay for the heat race, but not the race race?
That's right. Yeah, the race is gonna be everybody is for themselves.
All right, man. Well, interesting to see. Outside line didn't seem to come into play until much later on for you guys. You were able to lead a good part of that last half there, and then it ended up kind of flipping over. Was a different pit strategy that got you up there, or just kind of a wreck avoidance?
Well, that first, it was the first wreck I avoided, so it put me up front. And Jamie was right behind me, so we pitted together because we knew we could out-pit the other guys that pitted too early. And then we just stayed up top.
Alrighty, is it gonna be the same mindset heading into the Daytona 500 tomorrow? Is it line to find your guys and work your way to the front, or is it, I need fresh air and you fight your way to get to the front immediately?
Oh, we're gonna try and find each other. And then once we're there, then it's gonna be a good strategy. All of us win. So
All right.
that's the goal. But with Rex, you get scattered about. So then we get into it.
All right, I was gonna say, kind of looking at what we see here tonight happening so far. It's just you get a road 2 start, you'll at least be starting, behind Jamie Shaw there a little bit, and kind of just being able to work together is always what Ray says in the admin. Work together, and we all succeed. But it's going to be pretty tough. You got a lot of new names out there that are really kind of tripping me up from this angle. Just for the name pronunciation, and now you've got different driving styles. You've got 10 or 12 new drivers out here. What's the key of staying, trusting somebody to push you if it's somebody you've never had push you before?
We race all month long on this track, so we sort of know everybody that's been in it, and some of them are just invitational, so we know how they ride. You get used to some and different others where since how they race throughout the whole month, not to stick around with them.
Okay, so there's ones to be around, ones not to be around. I got you. I definitely don't. I don't want to see people see people's lists where they're like, that don't race around this guy. This guy, this guy will put you in the wall. He doesn't care. But with Imperium Motorsports coming on, and the way last race went with Roger Buff Racing, what does the admin team do to kind of offset these guys?
Oh, yeah, that Daytona and Talladega is basically the same thing. Where you try to pin them down, box them, and hopefully it works.
Keep an eye on that vein. Congratulations, man. I can't wait to see what you guys can put on tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you next time.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, Elvis Man signaling there, getting into the booth was us here, giving us a little insight on the race. It's definitely something to see whether, these guys tossing back and forth, what the right way to do it. We saw a little bit of looseness, and to me, not as much crashing in this heat compared to the first. Now, it is kind of a little weird of what is happening. We're definitely starting to see a little looseness here out of, I believe, that 55 machine back there. I thought that's Tom Barish here on the bottom might be getting in a little bit of trouble here. You've got to be careful. I'm sure the 98 on the outside of Heath Rutherford, not too excited about that. But here we are on the outside line. Check this out. Here we go. Michael Wiley, Ray Garcia, Gentry, Heath Rutherford, and I think Douglas Ross may be kind of caught in on the bottom. As I ask and I shall receive. Right now, admin team in the front, 1, 2, 3, and 4, showing us how it's done. So the outside line formed up, did exactly what it needed to do, nose to tail, and the outside line does work. They just got to work together. And I would question a little bit. I know the admin team's a little on that bump draft, kind of don't do it, guys. Bad things can happen, but it's working. These guys are side by side, they're nose to tail, they're fighting their way to the front, and now they're leading this one. So halfway into this, almost halfway into this heat, I've got Michael Wiley, Ray Garcia, and Landon Gentry at 1, 2, and 3 here. I mean, Heath Rutherford, I expect to see the 30, trying to send the 33 to the back, but it's not going to happen. Watch Landon Gentry. Watch exactly how he pushes here. And it's really something to watch. I mean, it's almost an art of how he's able to bump just enough to get Ray back into the saddle a little bit of that aerodynamic bubble. Get him nice and close to Michael Wiley. And the way they're looking, they're saying, Heath, how close is the guy next to you? Right now, Jason Stevenson isn't next to him. So now Heath Rutherford says, hey, we can lay back a little bit. I'm not having a race side by side. And you're going to see these guys lead most of this race. And this is exactly what they're going to try to do. And so if you guys think you have what it takes, line up for next month. Head to the Big Show on Facebook, or you can head to thebigshow.com, or if you head to simtracksbroadcasting.com, I've got the link if you're unsure of where to go for the Big Show, and that'll send you to their website or their Facebook as well. And you can, guys, you can sign up. You got a steering wheel, you got a shifter, you got pedals. Come out here and give it a shot, because the Big Show is looking for drivers each and every month. They offer a little bit of green for your time. Especially for the race, if you think you're good enough out here to give it a shot. Daytona is where we're at, and this is really going into quite a race here for where these guys toss back and forth on how they participate out here. This is really something what the Big Show does each and every month, and it doesn't go unnoticed, definitely by all my viewers out there, of what the Big Show puts on and how well they do it. Ray builds each and every one of these cars, whether you do a Chevy, Ford, or a Toyota. You load into a build he has already made. The admin team uses the same build, so it's not any sort of a leg up. And you come out here and try to see if you can beat them. I mean, they've got 10 or 12 drivers. The rest of the field has to come out here and beat him. And now with this new qualifying system he runs, the admin team has to battle their way into the Big Show as well. So if some of his admin team doesn't make it, some of them are eliminated and aren't able to make it. So the guys you see on here have earned their spot on the track. Whether it be the first week of the month or the fourth week of the month, these guys have battled their way on and really trying to put on a great show for you guys. So right now you are seeing the best of the best that the Big Show has to offer for this month that have at least qualified in the top 5 each of those weekends. But rotating on back where we're still side by side here with Douglas Ross and the number 5 Toyota. Outside of Jason Stevenson, trying to see if he can figure out what that admin team did. Outside line did work, but he still can't seem to get that outside line to keep moving here. Stevenson has fallen back to now 6 as Jeremy Buchern in 5th. Heath Rutherford was along side by side with Jason Stevenson there in his Chevrolet, but it's not working here. You see how kind of, I would say, discombobulated the line is. We'll see if we can get a Michelin chopper view here and kind of show you what is happening to this outside line. Watch as they get going here. You see how everybody's crooked? Everybody's crooked. So right now they are losing all the speed here on that outside line. 1, 2, 3 are good, but they need 4 and 5 to catch up. So that's kind of what you're seeing happening here. When you saw the admin team take that outside line, it was nose to tail in a straight line. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're running into overheating issues, you'll have a guy poke out, but normally you radio up front or say, hey, man, I'm overheating. Look out, and that's what you get is you got guys trying to edge just a little bit, find a little bit more fresh air and keep moving here. But it's also another one if you were leading the line and you were not fast, that's just something's going on. Your car's not driving the way. I've seen where it'll be Landon's leading and his car doesn't have enough power for some reason that he'll let Heath Rutherford get in front of him, and then Landon will push, and then the two of them break away, and then they then it's able to be a one-on-one, duke it out to the line. But this is a completely different moves here by some of these drivers out here. A couple of guys nobody's come down pit just yet. Everybody last pit on lap 11. So pit stop should be happening here pretty soon. Wiley, Garcia, Gentry, and Rutherford, 1, 2, 3, and 4 still on this one. And I think we're just about getting single file here because the outside line is kind of obliterated. Nothing left on this. I don't think anybody else is trying anything. Tidwell trying to see if he can take a little poke underneath the 63 Blake Maddow there, but no dice. No dice. Single file here. Whoa! Yeah, we're about to end up with another wreck here. We keep that kind of moves up. Outside line, it looks like, who in the world is that in the 7? I think that's Dennis Shutt there, up toward the top. Yes, it is. Trying to get a little bit of that door draft. Shutt picking up pace. on that outside line seems to be working so far. And I think that's also another thing is kind of a questioning how these guys drive. Is right. You see how close the 7 is getting to K. Jones here in the number 4. You start questioning how your patience, your luck, and what you're doing when you snug that close to these cars. Sometimes you end up with a little bit of net code via iRacing. I mean, I got to give it to iRacing here. You're trying to get 42 people in 42 different places in the country and have them all race within thousandths of a second of each other. Net code's going to happen. There's no way not to have that. You always want it less net code than more. But to have enough to drop down close enough to somebody's door-to-door draft, it gets harder and harder and harder, and it's really a gutsy move to snug down that close to see if you can hang on. Because right now, Dennis Shutt should be flying way back. He's out of the draft. There's nothing left. But him holding side by side to these cars here is actually increasing his chance of maintaining out there on the side. But it looks like everybody's single file here as they fall on back, I believe, starting back here with the B, Petrin, Napier, and James Jepson. These will be the guys here in the back. We're going to keep going right now. Jepson in my favorite car, Crispy M&M, sitting in the 013 Toyota in the back. Pit road is going to start lighting up here. Here we go. Bucheren Stevenson is in. Oh, man, he's finding out what hot tires do and when the brakes are not warmed up either. So he almost slides into pit road, almost ends up in a little bit of trouble there. A couple of guys already spinning around here. I believe that was Madal there and Jeff Napier. And try to give this a shot out there in the chat. Mr. Timmy, got a question. Can a dirt track legend try this? I'm just asking. Yes. There's no reason why you can't try this. I would say practice makes the perfect. And that's what you're going to need to do. These guys, like I said, they spend all month practicing out here. So it gets much, much harder when you come out here. I would say some guys come in here not expecting to win. Other ones, we get an absolute no-name. A guy who's never been here before comes out here and wins it. So there's still a chance. And really the admin team is able to learn from them. You'll end up entering the Big Show Hall of Fame. Yes. So, yes, you can come out here and compete. But, like I said, you do have to qualify your way in. So I would make sure if you've got a wheel, shifter, and pedals, give it a shot. Come out here on iRacing, get yourself a subscription, get you a couple tracks. I would say that I think all the tracks they race on do come free with iRacing, so no more upfront cost. And then try a couple of different things, and then at least be able, that way you don't get caught off guard, because these guys really put on a great show, and it's a lot harder than it looks. These guys trying to shuffle back and forth of really good good driving out there. But you can learn a lot. The Big Show's willing to teach anybody. You're willing to work with them, they'll work with you. Here we're taking a look at the admin team coming down pit road here. Should be looking to land a Gentry in front of us. We're behind the computer, though. Rutherford up there. Looks like Ray Garcia. He's going to try to take off here pretty soon. Ray Garcia kind of falling off the pace there a little bit. I think Ray took a 9-second pit stop there. Oh, K. Jones. K. Jones gets way loose coming out of pit road there. K. Jones had just under a 9-second pit stop, so I don't know if he had any tires there, but he's got to hurry up and get up to speed. He's about 30 miles an hour slower there than Dennis Shutt. Shutt's slowing down to let him get in. Sean Royer out there saying to leave Logitech did an update. It had no steering, just his luck. No kidding. I believe I read something. Somebody was saying they had to did a Logitech update, and they said it messed them all up. You have to almost reset your feedback. Some people were saying they're having a bunch of problems with that. So I know definitely some tumble ups. I know on the force feedback, it'll feel like the car has squishy steering. And almost when you're turning, there's no car there. It just kind of feels like a controller. It doesn't move. But still an opportunity out there. Timmy, I know, man. You've been telling me you've been racing a bunch of times. Well, get your butt out of here. Get your butt out of here, man. We can do it. We got dirt off-road. They got dirt circle tracks, dirt road tracks. They got circle. We got oval asphalt. We got road asphalt. All sorts of cars. So I was going to say, man, take a look at an iRacing. You might be able to get into this and definitely try to sign up for the Big Show. So we'll see if We'll see if it gets any going on there. I know Wade's World out there saying he had a heck of a time out there with his wheel, man. Hate to see it. But let's stay back on the track. Michael Wiley, Landon Gentry, Chris Vickery, Tom Parrish, and Heath Rutherford right now leading this race with a good separation out there on the field. I'm not seeing that where anyone may be able to keep up. Jason Stevenson out there. And then way back, about 3 seconds, here's Ray Garcia out there with Douglas Ross, Thomas Stewart, and I believe that is Nick Biddy out there. Biddy's moved up one position, sitting in the 10th. Right now, biggest movers of the race are Landon Gentry and Tom Parrish, both up 15 positions. With only 14 laps left to go, I think maybe another caution comes out. They may clump them up yet again. I would probably say that Ray may be able to make up that distance, but he's got to get some really, really good help here by Douglas Ross and Thomas Stewart. Now, I know Ross is just freshly split from the admin team, moving to Imperium Motorsports. Right now, at least Douglas Ross and Thomas Stewart and the 5 and the 64 should be working together in their Toyotas. They may need to snug up and get a little closer if they want to continue to charge up front. They've lost at least 3/10 so far on that front pack. Wiley said he's won a bunch of races here, but he's got a lot of work to do to keep staying in front. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be able to continue on and figure out what we can do here. Wonder if we can grab a hold of another driver in here and see what we can do. See if I can grab a hold of him. Let's see if I can see. Sean Boundy, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Awesome. I'm glad I got somebody with a mic here. Dude, there for Heat 1. How confident? What was going on out there? Leading most of the race, but then the second half kind of fell apart on you.
Well, I actually didn't want to lead any of the race. There was a chance that without any cautions that you can make it on one stop, and I was kind of hoping that somebody would come up from the high side, and I think half the field was dead set on not passing me. After that, yeah, it was pretty fine race. Didn't bother me at all. Then we just got caught up in a couple lap cars that I don't know what they were doing that tore up the whole front of the field, and it was just scrambling from there, just completely unnecessary, and it was not really much more you could say about it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it does start you from a little farther back in the pack. How does this set your outlook on the race tomorrow?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. I've got hundreds of thousands of laps over the last 12 years on this sim. And, if I don't go forward, it's probably because of fuel strategy or I'm just kind of chilling. But if I need to go to the front, I'll go to the front. I don't have a problem with these cars, with this track, with this package. I can start anywhere, and it doesn't bother me one bit.
Alrighty, I know I've talked to you before out there in the chat about pit stop strategy. It's kind of interesting to see what some of these guys are doing and what they're not doing. How imperative are tires? Some are telling me they're kind of a moot point. It doesn't matter. Others are saying if you're down there for fuel, throw 2 on.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an empty tank and you can throw 2 on, it doesn't hurt in the least. In a 50-lap race like this, it's irrelevant. You don't notice it. There's no point. You got a long race, like a 500-lap race tomorrow or something like that, or 200-lap race. Yeah, it's good to go ahead and stagger those tires left, right, and get a set on each time you got some fuel because you're not losing any on two tires. And really, that's more for kind of helping your grip on the apron when you're exiting pit road. To me, it's more to help with that, to make sure you get up to speed than anything. But otherwise, yeah, for the most part, you can go a couple fuel runs without taking tires if you need to.
Alrighty, I was gonna say, yeah, I would probably agree with that, man. I definitely, I always like having that fresh rubber out there. I just can't see taking 4 and sacrificing, an extra 5 to 6 seconds down pit road, and then if you're out of the draft, you're going way back. There's no way not to continue charging forward without help.
Right. And, if you're in the back half of the field and there's a caution, it doesn't hurt to take 4 and just reset your cycle. But it depends on how comfortable you are. If you want to you want to be aggressive, or you want to get up to the front during a pit cycle, or you're already still content riding in the back. I don't think tires is going to be a big concern. However you look at it, it's just going to be a matter of which direction you want to go at the time.
Alrighty, well, seeing you and Trevor Dalton are on the same team here tonight, are you guys going to be trying to link up for tomorrow?
I'm so I usually get thrown in with the admin group because I know some of them personally. This is the first time where I stuck it down there and really got to work with or know anybody else. And they're all good guys out here. It's when I'm out on the track, it's really more a matter of if there's a group that is similar on strategy. I'll link up with them in the middle of the race because you got a long race to go. 3/4 of the race it's just setting some laps, getting the repetitions in, and just not getting into trouble. When it comes to the end of the race, that's when you look through the field to see who you can work with. You might have a best friend out there, and this is a digital sim, so your connections might always work together. They might not always be in sync. You look for somebody that's stable, that somebody drives in a straight line. You might have some friends, and they may not be the best pushers or helpers. So that amount of time in a race like that really lets you kind of showcase what you have, and you kind of find your partners in that regard.
All right, Sean Boundy. Well, good luck to you tomorrow, man. I can't wait to see what you got for us.
10-4, thank you.
All right, everybody, as we were talking Sean Boundy there, we saw a little bit of Barish. Tom Barish almost flew straight off the track, slammed into the inside wall. That will be the end of his night. He shows him down pit road. I believe he had to tow. So destroyed his night. He was up here running at least in the top 5, top 6. As we're watching Wiley Gentry and Vickery. These two guys 1, 2, and 3, followed by Heath Rutherford and Jason Stevenson. And so it looked like a little contact was made. I wasn't sure exactly 110% what happened, but it ended up wiping him completely out and slamming straight into the wall, which is really a bummer there. I just don't know what happened. Looks like we got a stuck car here in the turn. Looks like turn 3 and 4 is stuck. Joe DeVede here in the 9 Ford. So you hate to see it, man. Just back 18th position for him now. Now he's going to have to figure out how to get back up to the front or at least survive. With the last 4 laps to go. Landon Gentry out in front of Heath Rutherford, so Heath Rutherford can't crash the 33 unless he comes up with some sort of run. Michael Wiley might be looking at another win here. But the way it looked last heat, does Landon Gentry set this one up and pass Michael Wiley here for the win to start on the front row of row 2. It's still a possibility, but it's we got 3 laps to figure it out here. And I would probably say the blinking Chris Vickery there. Somebody's nervous as Heath Rutherford saw that. Rutherford, you saw him slack off just a little bit here, trying to make sure he stays away from that. 3 laps to go. At least 3 of the admin team sitting up here, and he's got a couple angles he can try on this. No, it's definitely an interesting heat here. Everybody getting separated apart. Front 5 are here, starting with Ray Garcia after that. Showing him in the 18 Ford, but he is in the 00. He is back 5 seconds. And then after that, starting with, I believe that is Cade Jones in the 4 Chevrolet. He's another 3 seconds off of that. So definitely a spread apart field. And then after that, I believe after Buchran, after that, it should be about another 7-second gap to get to Maddow. So this field is separated all apart now, and Michael Wiley may be under fire. So we're going to sit up here with the front 5 and see what they do. Michael Wiley going to see if he can hold off Landon Gentry. At any time you talk to Landon Gentry, quote, "What if you're in the lead, you're a sitting duck." So this is exactly what he wants here. Let's see what he's got. Landon Gentry sitting second. And he's going to see if he can bring a little dough on this one. Let's rotate top side as we take a look at it. Wiley sitting in the front as he brings out the white flag. This time by Barney tucks the white flag back away and gets the checkered ready. Michael Wiley in the front diving in turn 1. Everybody's still staying pretty sane here. I would question if Vickery and Rutherford are going to try their way in the front. Rutherford gets a run, but has to check up. 23 decide not to. Rotate back to Rutherford here, seeing if Rutherford gets pinched here with Jason Stevenson. Stevenson, you see him taking a peek, lap traffic outside. And Wiley may try to use that to his advantage, but as he goes ahead and passes that car, away he goes. 98 poking his way to the outside, trying to find it. Here it comes. Landon Gentry to the outside. Michael Wiley, not enough. Does he turn him? Wiley on the inside. He's got the angle. Whoa, man. 20 thousandths of a second. Michael Wiley gets it. Michael Wiley gets it. Landon Gentry, not enough, and there it goes. Heath Rutherford sends him to the moon. Congratulations to Michael Wiley going home and bringing the heat win on this one. That was a close one. I give it to Landon. He tried to give it a shot there, but not quite. Didn't have quite enough on it. Alright, we'll kind of see what's going on here with this one. Alright. What happens at the end of this one? This will be the feature one. Top 10 of each heat will advance to the main event. Main event being 50 laps for that $50 mark. Ah, okay, that's what this is, the $50 mark. So the top 10, so it was imperative these guys get up there. And then it will be a maximum of 2 caution flags for this race. Wow. All right. You're looking for the money on this one, I assure you of that. You're going to be looking for the money on this one. Let's get to that starting grid here. The Jamie Shaw going to be starting in the front. Michael Wiley there on the outside. Landon Gentry will be sitting 4th next to Sylvain Sigwin. Kitty Enstrom there, Chris Vickery, Dustin Wade, and Heath Rutherford, Trevor Dalton. And on the outside of row 5 will be Jason Stevenson. Rick Nichols will be 11th. And Ray Garcia, was able to squeak in there. I mean, just barely. 12th position for him. That brings us to Charles Keller and Douglas Ross, 13 and 14. Mike Presley, Thomas Stewart, 15 and 16. Sean Boundy will be 17th. Nick Biddy will be 18th. Greg Corzin, 19th. And it should be, I believe, end of the field will be the 20th position. Sean Boundy, I think something may have happened to him. I don't see him out there on the track. I think something might have happened to him in that 34 Toyota. Kind of dropping off here a little bit. Greg Corzin. I get caught up there. Looks like Mike Presley may be having some trouble here. Man, oh man. All right, let's get this one underway. Jamie Shaw in the lead. Jamie Shaw getting away with it. Michael Wiley, the winner of Heat 2. Jamie Shaw, winner of Heat 1. And the Gentry sitting 3rd. This one's scheduled for 55 laps. Keep in mind, both those heats were to go ahead and crunch down. Top 10 of those, then they take those 20 drivers out of both those heats, and now they're going to race for the money. $50 on this one. Outside line with Landon Gentry. Looks like the 23 of Chris Vickery and Heath Rutherford. Is there enough to get the outside line moving? Landon Gentry in the lead here. Jamie Shaw trying to see if he can get a little more going here. Michael Wiley keeping along, and Sylvain Sigwin sitting 1, 2, and 3. Interesting enough, I got at least I've got at least 3 guys from the admin team here in the front. Landon Gentry and Heath Rutherford trying to get caught back up to the buddy. Ray Garcia back here in the 14th position. Looks like he's kind of stuck out there. Nobody out there to help him. Maybe the 64 can duck on out of Thomas Stewart. He's riding alongside Charles Keller now in the 99. So far, so good. Look at the check up on that inside line. Ray is able to use that. He's going to get in the draft to Heath Rutherford here. Here we go. Outside line, starting to pick up the pace. Watch for Ray to give Heath Rutherford a shot here and try to get this outside line moving. So far, so good. Is there an in turn one? Man. Yeah, check out Heath Rutherford trying to snug down on the 68 of Dustin Wade here. Trying to keep him clamped down on the bottom. No can do. Landon running out of speed here. Now on the outside, Sylvain going to get meet back up with Jamie Shaw here and not let him around. There you go. Outside line. This is exactly what you need. Sylvain picking up the pace here. Landon Gentry will follow along. Landon Gentry in the 33. Followed by the 23 of Chris Vickery. See if Vickery can snug it up there a little bit. Vickery needs to close the gap. Right now, that is the weakest link here. Vickery needs to pick up the pace. Let's see if Heath Rutherford gives him a shot here. I've seen this happen once a couple of times before, and what will end up happening is the admin team starting with Heath Rutherford and Ray Garcia. If you're not going to move, they'll make you move, and the 00 may push that 98. A 3-wide situation. See if they can floss around him here and leave the 23 stranded. Send the 23 to the back if they can't get a move on here. If we look here with Chris Vickery. Oh, Heath Rutherford thinking about it. If Heath Rutherford drops to the bottom, which might be an idea, it may leave that gap for Ray Garcia to get a run as well. 98 dropped to the bottom. That would leave the 00 with a run, and the two of them could slide to the inside. 66 and the 33 might drop down and then leave Chris Vickery in the 23 to the outside by himself. That would then jam the 1 of Greg Corzin. So a lot of different strategies that are possibilities out here. But the outside line, look at the speed. That speed's starting to pick up now. Separation. Oh, admin team moves, but unable to shut out Vickery. Heath Rutherford not happy about that. Vickery, good. Smart move to hang in there. They were trying to cut around that 23, but let me tell you right now, this admin team is all on the same channel. So right now they're radioing between each other. All right, we got to figure out how to shake that 23 out. Because they're going to look at him as a sore spot here. 23 leaving a bunch of freaking room front and back. Not good. Not good here. Heath Rutherford trying to figure out how to get the angle here. But the rest of the field, looks like they may have fallen off. Dustin Wade way off track here. Let's see if we can pop back and try to figure out what happened to Dustin Wade. Ooh, looks like he backed off the 41, then got a shot by the 6, rotates back up. Oh, man. Not quite sure. Charles Keller rotated up into that. Now, I believe it's showing Michael Wiley as crash. Cade Jones rotates up and collects these two. What happened here? What caused this to happen? Hold on just a second. We gotta pop this top side here and kind of figure out what happened. Because this is a nasty wreck here. Michael Wiley, the winner of the heat race, slides to the outside. Cade. Whoa, Cade Jones goes out there to almost block Jamie Shaw and grabs them both. Takes out the back half of the field. Big time. Bad move there. All right, let's get back to the front. It seems the admin team's not having any problems up front. Number 1 of Greg Corzin starting to come back. So far, so good here. Only 8 laps left in this one. Well, 8 laps down in this one. Coming up on number 9. And now these guys are kind of Kind of going aside from the plan here. Outside line going to be led by Vickery. 98 if Heath Rutherford following along here. Ray Garcia trying to snug it up just a little bit. But Sigwin and Gentry still trying to get something going on here. See if we can get, we got a request out there in the chat to see kind of slow-mo what happens here. I'm going to probably say we'll start with the 84, maybe get pretty close here. Let's take a look. And we'll take kind of another look at what happens to the number 4 and why the 4 decides to come up. Yeah, you can see the wheel turning. You see the 4 coming up. And I think what he was trying to do is come up on the 84 maybe. And maybe try to get in front for a roll. And then and try to lead another charge to the front. Because if you had Shaw and Wiley out there, it should have been another angle they could have gone. Getting to the front of this one. Another angle where they could have gotten the admin team out to the front. And a possibility of another run to get back to the front, but that's what it looked like out there, Timmy. As it looked like he was trying to go out there and start another run, but 84 Jamie Shaw was just coming on too hot. But caution's out, and from what I'm seeing, that is showing the rest of the field kind of throwing them a lifeline here, because way back here, some of these guys are off by almost 10 seconds. So they'll at least be able to reel these guys in. Now, I mean, that's 10 seconds, and the leaders right now are doing 80 miles an hour, and everybody else is still doing 200 to catch up. So definitely an odd race here. Definitely an odd race, especially right here at the end. I think Boundy probably not happy. I'm taking a little time here. We'll try to see if I can grab a hold of Trevor Dalton here. All right, pace car is starting to line up here. Pace car out. Everybody coming down pit road. Give this another wing right now. Yep, I got everybody down here. Whether to take tires or not, that's the question. I would probably say most of these guys are going to try to be fuel and goes and get back out there. Unless they ended up spinning earlier in the race. Where like Greg Corzin, I think Greg Corzin ended up taking tires. Yeah, Greg Corzin taking tires. Michael Wiley is taking tires. Dustin Wade and Charles Keller have all taken tires. So I got 4 guys out here who's taking tires. And everybody else are fuel and goes. Interesting enough, but we'll see what that does for the rest of the field and what they decide to do here. See if I can grab a hold of Trevor Dalton here. Let's see. Trevor Dalton, you got a copy?
Yippers.
There you go. Hey, man, how's the race going out there for you tonight?
Well, I haven't had to turn right yet, so...
Well, it's definitely a wild one out here, man. You getting tired yet? I know some guys, man, once they say it, they get 30 or 40 laps into a race, man. It kind of wears you down. Now that you made it through the heat and now onto the feature, how's your endurance level at this point?
It's not bad. These are short enough that I do all right with. Lap 199 of a 200 lap race, I'm about ready to fall asleep.
Well, I know how well you did there at Bristol, so it was, back and forth, back and forth. I didn't know if these super speedways trip you up at all. I know you're trying to get this run here to the front, but kind of where where's this line up with you and your team here, trying to figure out a route to get there? I mean, the admin team start lining up and they get taken away here, and it seems sometimes you just don't have that draft buddy you need.
Yeah, it's I love and hate super speedways. They're so much fun, but they're so frustrating at the same time. Getting good people to work with is just a nightmare, and then you get people slow up one lane, and it just seems like whatever lane I picked wrong.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Sometimes it's just trying to communicate with the right person and get them to push the right way, and that's the key to success here. I noticed no tires on that pit stop for you. Do you find any success ever taking tires?
Sometimes. This one I feel is more important to stay up front than the tires. The tires really aren't bad here, except for getting off the pit road under green flag stops.
Alrighty, everybody kind of seems to say that. Everybody says coming off pit road. I always find on restarts. It always gets me on restarts. If I'm on cold tires, I can't do it. But if I'm on heat cycle tires, it spins me all to pieces. Trevor Dalton, good luck, bud.
Thank you.
Now let's go ahead and get Trevor Dalton back to his team down there as we are back under green flag. Sylvain, Landon Gentry, Heath Rutherford, Jamie Shaw, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now, good chunk of admins up here as we got Chris Vickery rolling around with them as well from Imperium Motorsports. He's going to be one to reach out there looking for Thomas Stewart and Douglas Ross. Those two guys are back in the 11th and 12th position. So still a lot of room to move, sliding back and forth for these guys. Really, it makes you question where they stand in all this. As we were talking earlier, Trevor Dalton, outside line, he chose correctly this time. Outside, he stays outside. Right now, I would stay stuck to Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry for most of this race because they know exactly what needs to happen and get going along here. I do want to kind of say where Ray Garcia ends up. I hate to see, Ray keeps trying to pile drive and get his way to the front, but it seems that's his night. He's just unable to find that right lane and get to the front as he's caught behind, I believe, that's Chris Vickery once again in that 23 lane, way off here of Heath Rutherford. And then once again, it's costing a lot of performance for some of these guys trying to battle to the front. Only about 30 laps left in this one here, and I would say that's going to be tough. 40 laps, excuse me. For them to kind of get to the front. I don't know if there's more time. I mean, I know we're going to have some more green flag stops here, but what does everybody decide to do? I mean, what is the key to success here? But we're keeping an eye out. Landon Gentry and Shaw 1, 2, and 3. And Dalton is in third. Rotating with Jason Stevens and Sylvain Sigwin in the fifth. But he's being challenged there by Ray Nichols on the outside. I would say Nichols ended up in a lot of trouble in the heat earlier in the night. And he's at least surviving this one, sitting fifth now. Outside line is starting to form up and take shape. Right now, I would question right now with Michael Wiley on the backside of this line here. Does Ray Garcia duck on out and have Cade Jones follow him here? Not just yet. Ray Garcia backing off just a little bit. Both these guys still running their throwback schemes. 48 and the 00. Interesting enough by some of these guys out here. I want to give a shout out there in the chat. Appreciate all you guys joining us here tonight. Should be a good run heading into tomorrow. I know these guys, a couple pileups here so far, but not too bad. I know if there's a driver out there that's kind of getting messed up, Dustin Wade. I say he's been caught up in at least two issues, lap 6 and lap 12. Ended up in some more problems out there, but it's just trying to mellow these out a little bit. Dustin Wade there in that number 68 Chevrolet. See how well he can do out there. I know it's kind of toss up here. I would say I can't point a finger and say this guy's going to win the heat. I know tossing back and forth what each driver decides to do. I mean, we're getting yes tires, we're getting no tires, we're getting straighten up tires, we're getting 100% fuel. We got to take fuel. There's no way of off-cycle pitting. And some of these guys, it's just the different strategies when you come to a super speedway, it can make or break the race at any point in time, anywhere. But I probably would say, you know, what some of these teams do, if they work well together, I expect to see them bunch up and try to figure out a new plan of attack on what they're going to do. But look at Rick Nichols, seeing if he can hang here with the top 5. He's on the outside of Heath Rutherford. Rutherford may have to give a shot here to Sigwin here to get him moving a little bit. Sigwin hanging off the 17 of Jason Stevenson. Right now I'm looking at Landon Gentry and Shaw 1 and 2. So we got admin team sitting 1 and 2. I got them again back here in 5 and 6. And then again for 13 and 14. They're starting to stretch this one out a little bit. Looks like the number 1 there, Greg Corzin, thought about sending that thing 3 wide. The 41 hop high, the 23 was low. He thought about shooting the gap, but it looks like Ray's going to try to null that. Cut to the inside and pick up a little pace. You better watch out because Rick Nichols here has been kind of looking for a way out. Can't seem to get any kind of help, so he may cut in front of Ray. Ray's going to try to close the gap here with the 23, Chris Vickery, in front of him. So far, so good. Danny Shaw out there saying Jamie for the win. Jamie ended up getting that last lap pass out there on Sylvain Sigwin for the first heat. He may try to do it again. He is set up for position. But it looks like Landon is actually going to the outside with Jamie Shaw. And if I were to guess, he's out there to reach the admin team and grab a hold of him. It looks like they way died off here. They may slide to the bottom here. Oh, no. Heath Rutherford. No. Destroyed. Yikes. No caution last time we talked to Ray. No caution until lap 30, so these guys may be out of this one. All right. Let's keep going on out there. Appreciate you guys out there in the chat, lighting it up pretty good, keeping me company here tonight. I do not have Miss Stella with me here tonight, but you will see her tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what comes down the pike for some of these drivers. Heath Rutherford now down to 16th position. I said Stella will be with us tomorrow for the Daytona 500. She's always got plenty of facts about this track. Good information. Trevor Dalton, we talked to him. Now he's got the lead. Finding the right guy, right time. Jason Stevenson following along. Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry behind. Now we're starting to get good breaks, though. I would want to mention pretty big breaks. Starting actually with Cade Jones here in the 7th position, followed by Michael Wiley. And then these guys, 3 seconds off the lead here. Then we rotate back about another 6 seconds to Thomas Stewart, who's unfortunately out there all by himself. And then another 7.5 seconds, we end up with Mike Presley. So these guys are blown all apart again, and all it takes is one wreck. And that's exactly what's going to happen. These guys all kind of, look at where they are on the track. All separated now, so now everybody's kind of like, oh man, wait for me. And they're going to try to see if they can get caught up here. It's not going to be easy. Seeing how separated all these guys are. We want all you guys to go ahead and check out the big show. These guys definitely run everything once a month. They do race every weekend. I think they have a couple of races during the week as well. But you can check them out on Facebook or at their brand new website. It's thebigshow.com and tune in there. I believe they also kind of give you a stream as well for their qualifying runs. They have their live broadcast with me on the last Sunday of every month. This is a surprise here tonight. A quick load up and go for Mr. Ray Garcia here. Make sure you guys can see the duels out here and what these guys run here toward the end. Nice little spiff for these guys. They're able to get a little extra dough here, right, being able to win this one. Trevor Dalton in the driver's seat for that mark. And still has an opportunity to give it a shot here. Some of these guys, I expect to see another maybe one or two stops here. I would guarantee you at least one more stop for pit road and try to get clumped back together. There may be a caution to kind of squeeze them back together. I believe these guys are passing Heath Rutherford. Heath Rutherford did pit on lap 21. Heath Rutherford tucking in behind the 44 Mike Presley here and see if he can get caught back up. This 2.5 mile track being a little favorable to some, but not to all. But pit road is starting to get a little busy here. Mr. Wiley and Mr. Jones are on their way down pit road now. So seeming a little bit different strategies by our guys out there. They are the next ones to pit. I would say this is kind of unfortunate they are pitting now with no other help because it's just going to be these two. It's interesting to see that they chose to do this. What is going to be happening later on is I hope they're not going to be the only ones out there. If these guys really wanted to throw a wrench into the mix for the big show is racing this Daytona. Fortunately scanned back in 2011. If they ran the old Legacy one, that thing was rough as a cob out there, and they were bouncing all over the track. But fortunately, after new paving and back in 2011, they kind of flattened it out a little bit. Much smoother ride for these guys. But we're going to let's see if we can take a little ride here along with Landon Gentry. He is following behind Jamie Shaw, so now might be a good time to kind of take a roll along with him and see how he's doing out there. There's a couple of those drivers out there, Michael Wiley and Kate Jones. You saw them coming down pit earlier. They're going to try to link back up and see if they can stay with this lead pack before they get sent to the back too far. Wiley finally ducking on in behind the number 66 of Sylvain Sigwin there. Now they are a lap down, but the front pack still has to pit here and try to see if they can find another gap. I know Dalton Stevenson and Jamie Shaw, Landon Gentry, and Rick Nichols, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sylvain will be the ending of number 6 here on the lead lap. After that, we're looking all the way at Thomas Stewart in that 7th position, back at least 27 seconds off the lead. Now, Thomas Stewart did pit on lap 11 as well, so he was caught up in that one wreck. I'll probably say this is going to be a pretty wild run here at the end, of seeing that we've only got about 25 laps to go in this one. And I would say, with so few winners here at Daytona, even getting a dual win, it's even tougher. And Trevor Dalton knows all about that. He was having a tough time there at Bristol, but he ended up prevailing. Doing an awesome job there. Jason Stevenson, I haven't seen him before in that 17 Chevrolet. And he still got the opportunity to come away with a win. We saw how it worked there with Jamie Shaw and Sylvain Sigwin there. So it's what happens now, we'll see. But with only 25 laps to go left in this one, this is definitely going to be a big pileup of drivers trying to prove themselves in the very end. But pit road is lit up for some, but not all. Interesting enough to see the off-cycle pitting here. So Nick Biddy is in 11th, sitting in 13th position, last pit on 11th. So he may actually be the one actually farther down than the rest. Guys who have pit: Michael Wiley, Kay Jones, Ray Garcia, Engstrom, looks like Mike Presley, and Heath Rutherford have all pit on about that lap 25 to 24 area. Everybody else is still out here on the track. I would probably guess maybe if Ray Garcia, Michael Wiley, and Cade Jones. That kind of look like he's trying out here to save Heath Rutherford here. Get these guys back on the lead lap. They have already pit. When everybody comes down to pit, they will probably stay out. We talked to Sean Boundy, and he said there's a chance that you don't need to pit for fuel. You might be able to make it all the way to the end if you're on green. But leading in the front, you kind of signed your death warrant out there. Because of the amount of fresh air. And more fresh air ends up meaning more fuel consumption, but you do end up having more power. Best times out here on the track. Staying pretty solid for some of them. Everybody just about the same time. I think Greg Corza may have the fastest time on the track at 43.46. Actually, I'm incorrect. Dustin Wade with a 43.44 out there. So he ended up being the fastest one on the track here tonight. And you notice in some of these lap times of where they're ended up, that their fastest time is a 43. We're in the mid-40s out there on the track, and it's questionable how we get going on this one. But guys out there in the chat, you know, when these guys pit, fuel only tires, and the ones who have already pit, do they prevail? Because if you think about it, them coming down a pit road for at least, let's say, 36 seconds, that's enough for them to come down pit road about 7 to 8 seconds for fuel and go, and then back out of pit lane. Is that about that 37 seconds? Can Michael Wiley, Cade Jones, and Ray Garcia, and Heath Rutherford make up that kind of distance? Because that means they got to get around the track to get on the lead lap, and they got to be running these guys down to get back up there. I would probably say no from this angle, seeing that Heath Rutherford ended up wrecking there. But pit road is lit up. So Chris Vickery, everybody's coming down. Thomas Stewart, Douglas Ross is down here. Charles Keller is down here. Dustin Wade. Trevor Dalton, the leader, came down, which put Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry into the lead. Some of these guys who have yet to come down, right now we're watching Michael Wiley and Cade Jones running down the leaders. This should put them back on the lead lap if they can get slung around. So that'll put them on the lead lap, but they've got to hurry. Showing everybody right now who you see is down a lap now. It's going to kind of switch up here just a little bit of where everybody ends up. Trevor Dalton sitting third. He was originally our leader. You saw Shaw and Landon Gentry came down. Whoa! Around some lap traffic there with only 20 laps left to go here. See where Shaw and Gentry end up here. Dalton's only off by 5 seconds, but he's got a full head of steam here. Talk about a wild turn. It looks like Trevor Dalton is caught up with a different pack here. And the next one is Jamie Shaw here. Sitting second almost now. He'll be 3 seconds before we get to the line. So Dalton, lucky break, getting caught up with this clutch of cars. Which turns out, since everybody is now pit, that will leave Jason Stevenson, Nick Biddy, Charles Keller, and Heath Rutherford still a lap down. Heath Rutherford 2 laps down, especially after that spin out he had. 19 laps to go in this one. speed out all these cars out here, and it's interesting to see that Dalton being able to get this 3-second lead in front of the rest of the pack. Right now, he's got to be feeling super, super comfortable right now getting this opportunity. He's tucked behind Chris Vickery. He's still on the lead lap right now. And trying to see if he can put some distance on it. I would say I wouldn't put it behind Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry to be working something up here. Right now, Shaw and Gentry is starting to really pick up some time here. They've sawed off about half a second, and I think it's because Trevor Dalton is caught in lap traffic. He's got nowhere to go, and these guys just are not as fast as he needs to be. Out there, Travis Osborne. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate everything you guys say out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to everything at Simtrax Broadcasting. Definitely that way you guys can stay tuned in. You can hit that little notification bell. If there's a race you're looking forward to, you can even set it on your calendar. Head to SimtraxBroadcasting.com. I've got a schedule of everything we're doing. I will say, this was a last-second broadcast here tonight. We go ahead and tune into this one. You know, it was kind of a last-second decision. And my first doubleheader here, coming from the Graceland Shootout Series, and then coming for the Daytona Duels at the Big Show. So definitely, guys, like and subscribe out there, and then you'll be able to tune in for everything we're doing, or whichever platform you guys decide to listen to, whether it be Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. Right now, I'm looking at 16 laps left here to go with Trevor Dalton in his Toyota. Jamie Shaw's Toyota is only about 2 seconds behind, but him and Landon Gentry have been working almost nose to tail here, really working on some speed. Great job here, and I like the way Landon Gentry's driving here. Landon's dropping down, getting a little fresh air. Now, what that does is gives him a little more power to that engine, and he's able to get behind Jamie Shaw and give him a shove. And when he gives him that shove, he's able to help him get charged up again and get going. But let me tell you right now, if you were able to get that vehicle in front of you, you know, with Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry, and these guys also, you know, front and behind, and I believe Jason Stevenson in the 17 Chevrolet, if Stevenson can grab a hold of that car in front and start drafting, it's going to be huge. If they are able to get the push far enough up there, taking a ride along here with Jason Stevenson, if they are able to grab that draft of that front lane, it's going to be huge. And I guarantee you, that Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry are going to put Trevor Dalton in the rearview mirror. There's no doubt about it. There's nowhere else they can go. They're going to be on a roll, but they're trying to see if they can break this 2-second gap. Now, whatever Dalton has done, he's changed. Because Dalton has now picked that positions back up as he's gotten through the lap traffic. Dalton was ahead by 3 seconds, lost it down to 2 when he hit this lap traffic, has broken through and has now expanded his lead another half a second here with only 14 laps to go at Daytona Motor Speedway. So a lot of guys tumbling back and forth. Really, what can Shawn Gentry do? Wiley's too far back to reach those two guys, and Shawn Gentry may be the only ones who can reach out and touch him. Yeah, looks like he's got a bunch of lapped cars behind him, starting with Greg Corzine, Dustin Wade, Thomas Stewart behind him. The number 5 of Douglas Ross following along that, 23 of Chris Vickery. So kind of a tumble up here with all these lapped cars. And then you get Trevor Dalton, who is amazingly, like I said, his lifeline out there was coming out of pit just in time to grab these guys, grab the draft, and continue pulling through. Or otherwise he would be sitting there behind Shawn Gentry. So awesome pit stop for Trevor Dalton with a 9.3 second pit stop on lap 34. Fantastic job. No one beat that time. Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry had a 10 second and a 9.85. So backfield for them, and that's may or may not be why they end up falling victim. But talk about wiping out any sort of a lead. Trevor Dalton is now looking at the yellow flag around the field, and he's not going to be happy about that because he may have walked away with this one. All right, let's see if we can take a peek back at what might have happened. Looks like Michael Wiley, they're saying Michael Wiley may have crashed. Cade Jones was already part of one caution here. And almost in the identical spot. Almost in the exact spot last time. Wiley rotates back up. Boom. And that's going to send it to caution. And the way they're looking at this, I guarantee you, is how spread apart this track was. They're clumping them back together. That's probably what I would say. I mean, look at these guys. They've got to get caught up. Right now, that number 27 up there is our leader. And we got some of these guys still trying to get back. Now, what this will do is with a caution, I guarantee you all lapped cars will get a wave around. So you'll see the 1, the 68, the 64, I believe, the number 5 of Douglas Ross. You'll see him sling on by, the 23, Chris Vickery, 17 of Jason Stevenson, Charles Keller. These guys are all going to get the wave around. Go on. 23, keep going. Keep going. That's the best part about the big show is we're going to get all these guys back on the lead lap. And really the way I look at it is now Trevor Dalton, the 2.5 second, 3 second lead is now wiped. Yeah, which is unfortunate here. And now he's going to have to battle for the front. I would say pace, pit lane has lit up. And with pit lane being so busy here, you can take a guess as to who. Jamie Shaw, Michael Wiley, Landon Gentry, Sylvain Seguin, Ray Garcia, Cade Jones, Mike Presley, Angstrom here. So just about it. I think everybody except Heath Rutherford has come down pit lane again, and maybe fueling goes is what I'm looking at here. About 7 to 9 seconds is kind of where these guys are shuffling up. To get back onto the track. I'll let you guys know if Heath Rutherford decides to come in for the admin team and give it another shot. I know some of these guys who were laps down are now shuffled back around and getting there. Heath Rutherford is still tearing around the track trying to get his lap back. So fortunately, as one of those things that's good about the big show, everybody back on the lead lap, nobody a lap down. And if you're Heath Rutherford in the back 19, he still has a shot at winning this. So good for some drivers, really bad for Trevor Dalton right now. Take a little look at that right there. You saw Landon Gentry go up top. I guess giving Heath Rutherford a hard time there. That did not go unnoticed. All right, not too many laps left to go in this one. Probably 10 once we get underway. I would want to mention, guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Same place. Starting at 5 o'clock, we will start the Daytona 500. 200 laps for that one. Stage breaks will be at 50, 100, and 150. No caution flags there for the first 150 laps. After that, it'll be a little more. No damage, self-healing cars, and then I think a maximum of, depending cautions, that'll be a maximum of 4. In the final, and then at least 3 green, white checkers. We'll get into all that tomorrow, but don't forget, you have the opportunity, if you guys have the time, tune into the big show and see these guys kind of give it a run here for the Daytona 500. Definitely, this is kind of a super speedway series these guys run, but they have taken it to other tracks. I know they do take it to Daytona, Michigan, and Talladega. I know there's been toss-up of taking it to the iRacing Super Speedway, which is a, quote, make-believe track, but is still quite a sight seeing something, I believe it's 3.5 miles. I think it's 3.5 miles long, and those cars can go up to almost 250 miles an hour. But you can get cars almost five wide there, which is some pretty wild racing. And then a few months ago, this league actually took it down to Bristol for a knockout series. And guys, if you were in the back 5, after I believe 50 laps or so, it shaved off 5 drivers in the back. So hanging out in the back and wait for everybody to wreck each other was really the bad idea. And a lot of drivers got shaved off, but they were still able to battle later on in the race. For the ones who did charge their ways up front, and then the top 10 are the guys who got paid. If you guys are looking to join the big show, like I said, once again, back to the Facebook page is where you need to go. Trevor Dalton, Rick Nichols, front row here. Looks like Jamie Shaw and Cade Jones will be lining up side by side. Michael Wiley and Landon Gentry, Ray Garcia and Sylvain Seguin, will be starting side by side. And let me tell you right now, right? You can't tell me this isn't almost planned here. Is when you see the admin team clumping all together. Trevor Dalton and Rick Nichols are about to be in a lot of trouble here. If Shaw or Cade Jones can break free, they're all going to follow that one. And I would guess Cade Jones in the number 4 is the one they're going to push. Outside line seems to be favored. Wiley and Ray Garcia are going to be front to back. The unfortunate part is Heath Rutherford in the 98 all the way here in the back of the pack. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back to the front or slice through and rejoin his buddies up here, along with Greg Corzin. Man, yeah, it's going to be 8 at the line. Pace car lights are off. And we'll be back underway, and this is probably what I would say. This is the shootout. This is kind of exactly really what you're looking for, and I know it really is kind of a bummer for Trevor Dalton, this being a caution right here at the end, kind of wiping away his lead. But it should make for maybe a little better racing and a little less runaway. I know it kind of, like I said, it's a bummer for Trevor Dalton here because it looked like he was coming away with a win. But now this gives everybody another shot, and away we go. Restarting the Geico restart zone. Trevor Dalton gets the breakaway here. Jamie Shaw is going to follow along. Rick Nichols a little slow on the start here. Nichols is falling back. Outside line is falling apart earlier than later. Let's take a look at it from a higher spot. Looks like Cade Jones trying to find some room. Not quite yet. Cade Jones is having a blinking problem here lately. Definitely not what Michael Wiley wants to see. Wiley trying to close the gap, but he has no idea where he is. He's got at least a 3-second blink here, at least our screen. Wiley may drop to the bottom and kind of give up on that. And he does. Outside line for Shaw and Gentry. Around they go. Dalton watching the lead fall away. Rick Nichols, exactly what he needs is for a little draft there in the front. Now he's going to try to chase him. Loses it. No. So now Rick Nichols may be on the... He was catching up, and now he's falling back again. So the seesaw for him on the outside. Sylvain Sigwin trying to see if he can get a little more movement here, and around they go. Turn 1. Trying to find a little more room here. Ray Garcia stuck behind the 48 of Michael Wiley. Loses the room. 44, Mike Presley. Good block. Here comes Heath Rutherford in the 98. Inside line. Heath Rutherford all the way from that last spot is caught in it again. Ray Garcia careening off. I guarantee you this one will be under admin eyeballs here as we are under caution. Ray Garcia looked like he let go of the steering wheel and slammed in the wall there. All right, back under caution here. We'll try to figure out what happened here. All right, let's try to slowly break this down and kind of figure out what happened here. Oh, this might have been Ray. Yep, Ray came down the bottom. And I think somebody closed the gap on him here, and that ended up flipping all these guys around. Yeah, it looked like Ray just let go of the steering wheel. What was that? All right. Let's get us back live here, back under caution. Ray now back in the Heath Rutherford area, 19th. Heath Rutherford now sitting 16th. A couple of guys kind of joking, playing in and out of pit. Pace car lights are off. let's see if we can get going. Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry here in the front row. Exactly where they want to be. I don't think side by side would be their best choice. Sylvain is going to have to give Landon a push. Trevor Dalton lost the lead here and is now going to be chasing. Pace car lights are off. Be ducking on off here in just a moment. All right, Barney, let it wave. 4 to go at the line. Let her rip. Here we go. Jamie Shaw back out front. Sure, Danny out there, you're pretty happy about this. Let's see if he's a sitting duck. Cade Jones blinking again. Not good for the outside line. Mike Wiley, fortunately, in front of it. There he is. Now he's gone again. Oh, boy. Staying in front. Looks like Cade Jones. Hopefully he's not the make or break of some of these guys' races out there. That blink is pretty rough. Outside line for Jamie Shaw. Looks like Landon Gentry sitting second. Sylvain Sigwin on the outside of him, followed by Michael Wiley. Exactly where the admin team wants to be is out front. But they got to wait for the number 4 to get around if they can find him. Seems Landon Gentry has left Sigwin outside, and now Shaw is in the front. Jamie Shaw leading this one, 3 to go. Out there, Travis Osborne is rooting for Landon Gentry out there. Landon may have a shot at this one. Seeing most of these guys, that last lap pass is the one to make. But Landon, what he does is he pushes them away, and then is able to attack later on. But we are back under caution where I think Vickery is spun around. Yep, if we can get away looking at the stands. No, number 23 Chevrolet on the lid. Heath Rutherford caught in it again. All right, let's see what brought out this caution. It should be the last caution of the race. For the green-white checkered after that, they are on their own. Let's kind of see what happened here. Heath Rutherford. Whoa, has a 3 wide here. All right, we'll roll this back here a little bit. It doesn't look like any contact was made. Good Lord. It's either the 5 or the 25 here. 5 is Douglas Ross. Yeah, it looked like the 5 just had the air taken right off the nose. Douglas Ross is around. Catches the 68. Ray. Boom. And then rotates back up. And you kind of think Heath is thinking, I'm out of it. I'm out. Oh, I came back. Got him again. So, guy's going to try one more time here. Jamie Shaw still in the lead. Landon Gentry will be following after that. Travis Osborne is out there rooting for Landon Gentry. And you guys out there watching, let me know who you're rooting on. Gentry may have a shot at this. Trevor Dalton sitting 3rd. Ingstrom sitting 4th. Too bad Sean Boundy wasn't able to make this one up. Looks like Chris Vickery, the one who was upside down on his lid, may have had to tow there. Got down pit road, and he's trying to get back out there. Trying to get back on that lead lap. They'll file in behind everybody else, and then they'll probably, you kind of think they push this one to go, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get this around a couple more times. Very green-white checkered this time. Now, one thing Cade Jones will be working on this next round is trying to fix that connection, because, man, we get that back in the... we get that in the Daytona 500, we're going to have a lot of guys out of the race. Taking a look at Charles Keller here in the 99 Chevrolet. Guys tossing it back and forth here, looking pretty rough out here. I would probably ask Douglas Ross out of here. Let me see if we can grab Douglas. Let me see if we can grab him. Hopefully we don't get him all wound up here. Let me see if we can get him. I know Jamie Shaw in the front. I want to make sure the pace car lights are out. Yeah, they should be. There we go. All right. See if we can get him in here real quick. I know he's not with the admin team anymore. Douglas Ross, you got a copy? Come on, Doug. Not the mic thing again. No. Man. Yeah, some of these guys I think are just not ready for me, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and keep this one running here. Jamie Shaw, Landon Gentry, front row. That'll be Trevor Dalton and Kitty Eggstrom will be 4th. Mike Presley 5th. Thomas Stewart 6th. Greg Corson 7th. Sylvain Sigwin will be 8th. Michael Wiley will be 9th, followed by Jason Stevenson, rounding out our top 10. Should be a good run here. I expect to see Jamie Shaw and Landon Gentry link up again. Try to push and get the separation, but once Landon can get him pushed out there, Jamie Shaw may be in some trouble. So, I know Heath Rutherford was finally getting a run, being able to get back into the top 10, but it wasn't looking too hot. Especially not when it ended right there where it did. Man, I don't know about you. If I'm Landon Gentry, I bet you he's getting real nervous here. He's got to make this one count. Michael Wiley sitting 10th. I saw Michael Wiley back at Michigan start back in the 13th position and fire all the way back through half the field and win it. Michael Wiley still may have a chance. Jamie Shaw going to take this one to green. And away we go. Jamie Shaw makes a move to the outside very, very quick. Interesting to see the speediness of him getting to the outside line here. Let's rotate to the outside. Looks like they're already starting to tangle up here. Yep. 64's around. They're gone. Good Lord. It looks like I am looking at Sylvain on his lid. '64 gets him set back up that way he doesn't have to tow. Fortunately, self-healing. Boop. Fixes all back. So 64, Thomas Stewart. Good job. Hopefully we can send this thing back to 1 to go. Wow. Yeah, that is a bummer, man. You get these guys getting turn 1 and 2, got a little loose. I knew Greg Corson was around that area. And then guys just ended up wiping each other out. And I think everybody's just trying to run for that last bit. Most of it all good racing here tonight, but until these last few bits, not looking too hot. I would probably say now that the money's on the line, this is where guys start pushing harder than they should. And definitely different things are kind of being taken into account. So I don't know if what these guys decide to do. Man, oh man, oh man. I know a couple drivers coming back down pit road. Here we go. Dustin Wade. Thomas Stewart. Oh, you guys are tricking me out here. Dustin Wade did come down, though, in the 68. He may be coming down for a fresh set of tires. Might as well. If I were him, I'd throw on all 4. Let's see what he decides to do here. Wow, fuel and go. 8 seconds. Wonder what made him run out of fuel. Well, Travis Osborne, we're going to have to wait a little longer on Mr. Landon Gentry to see if he can take the lead here. I know Danny Shaw, you gotta be rocking, wearing a hole in your seat here, kind of wondering if Jamie Shaw's gonna win it. Definitely with a couple of cautions, almost back to back to back on this one. Definitely not what y'all want to see. I know. Hopefully we'll be able to give it another shot here. Pace car lights are out. I think that's kind of how it goes when you know, no matter what league you're in. Some of these guys, it's great racing. And I would say out of 200 laps, and then the last get down to 190, the last 10 laps, and they're killing each other. They're destroying trucks, trucks, cars, whatever they're driving. It's just kind of it's a heartbreaker because you've been running up front all night, and then you get totaled out, and it's, man, I've done all this work, I've done all this great driving, all this, everything here, and then boom, I'm knocked out. So let's see what we got here. Pace car light. Yep, there you go. I was gonna say, lights are out. Get off my track. Got a green flag to put out here. Let's see what Jamie Shaw can do with another restart. Definitely a little more conservative this time. Back to the top for Shaw. And turn one seems to be a little more conservative than last time. I'm sure admin or race control got in somebody's ear. Let's see what Landon can do. Trevor Dalton following along. Got to admit, Trevor Dalton is not going to want to lose this lead here or let these two guys get away. There we go. Landon, big push here. I agree with you, Danny Shaw saying it. Big push, Landon. Now Trevor Dalton is going to have to break away and see if he can find another lane. Nope. These two guys move down toward the bottom, and now Trevor Dalton trying to keep up. 2 laps left to go. Should be white flag this time by Jamie Shaw, about to lose the lead. Trevor Dalton on the outside. Now they finally crossed up. In the front they go. Trevor Dalton has the lead. Trevor Dalton being pushed by Greg Corzin. Corzin trying to hold him up top. Corzin pushing. Corzin's going to need to close the gap here a little bit. But nothing quite just yet. Number 1 giving a shove to the 27. Jamie Shaw's now losing the lead again. Great job here by Greg Corzin getting Trevor Dalton pushed out front, but it's going to require everything he's got on the way back. Looks like Rick Nichols may have wrecked here in the back, and they're rotating, unfortunately, to the back. But look at Landon, not letting off the gas. He's getting loose. Trevor Dalton checks up a little bit because it looked like Landon was going to kill him. Landon here to the line. This is about to be a nasty turn. What ends up happening? Let's see. Come on, Landon gets it. Landon stole the lead here. Travis Osborne. You called it there. Looks like Jamie loses it right at the end. And Gentry passed him at the line. Dude. Wow, that was a tumble up there, right? Especially right at the end. That was a tumble up. That was insane. Well, that's kind of, I think, how I expected it to go at the beginning, but that didn't play out that way, did it? All right, let's take a look at our results. Where everybody ended up. That's how close it was. 31 thousandths of a second. Jamie Shaw ended up in second. Trevor Dalton was third, Nick Biddy fourth, and Greg Corzin fifth. Congratulations to all our drivers out there. So a lot of guys tumbling around here. Danny Shaw, I'll try to tell you, tuned in. Hopefully you're able to get back out there for the race next round. Tomorrow at the Daytona 500. Big time moves here. All these drivers out here. Interesting to see where they all ended up. I think that's Landon Gentry still on his side, so no burnouts for him. Guys wrecking each other all to pieces. We'll try to get a hold of some of our drivers here. Let me see if I can get a hold of our third place finisher, and we'll be right back here in just a second. All right, everybody, after a long night, he survives. Didn't quite get the win, but he had some lead time. Trevor Dalton, talk to me about these last few laps. The admin team seemed to have linked up a heck of a lot better, man. What was it going to take to get the win here tonight?
The 33 to turn the 84.
Yeah, well, it was looking like that there, heading into turn 4. I would probably say, you almost wish Greg Corson had the rocket booster that Landon did to give you that push on the outside a little more.
Oh, he tried. He did, he did really well. That 33 and the 84, I knew we were in trouble when they hooked up. I mean, it just, when I was behind him, I was trying to push the 84 so hard that he couldn't, but then he just jumped in front of the 33. So with them together, it was their race to lose.
All right, man. Definitely. It should be a good race come tomorrow for the Daytona 500. What's your lookout for that track, man? I mean, just kind of head down and keep racing?
Yeah, I usually have a big magnet in my bumper and seem to find every stinking wreck. So I didn't have a magnet in this one. So hopefully I bring this car back with no magnets in it.
All right. Give me a shout-outs here.
Thank you to the Big Show admin team for putting these on. These are a hell of a lot of fun. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. And just put our helmets on and go at it tomorrow.
All right, man. See you tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. And that moves us to Jamie Shaw. Jamie Shaw is our second place finisher here. Jamie Shaw, talk to me here, man. What a run. You almost got him there, but not quite enough.
No, not quite enough.
Ah, man. Well, other than dumping,
I knew it was coming, though.
Yeah, other than dumping Landon Gentry, or what was going to be the key to keeping him behind you?
Well, I kept picking him up because him and I work pretty good together. But I knew coming down to the end there that if he had the gap, he was going to get me anyways. But it's all good.
Well, heading in the heat race, yes, go ahead and letting him by. But come tomorrow, that won't be shared, will it?
No, I'll learn from the mistakes.
Well, definitely for sure. All right, Jamie Shaw, man, I'll definitely keep it short here because I gotta get you guys get some sleep, man. That way you guys are ready for the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Give me a shout outs here.
Yeah, I'll just give a shout out to all the admins and everybody that showed up for tonight's race.
What about Danny Shaw? Danny Shaw was out here in the chat.
Yeah, he was out here. He didn't make it into the feature race.
At least played spotter for you, maybe.
No, he was I think he was watching the race on the TV.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Jamie Shaw, I will catch up with you tomorrow, man. Congratulations.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right, everybody, and that'll do it for that one. Landon Gentry ended up winning this one here. I know he's going to give me an earful because I wasn't able to get his heart rate monitor plugged in. I see he's running about 113 beats a minute. Let me see if I can grab a hold of Landon Gentry. Landon, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. Well, you come away with a win during the heat. How do we carry this on into tomorrow's race?
Hopefully we can get pole again and hook up with Jamie because I feel like I'm pushing him really well. And yeah, just try to avoid the wrecks and stay up front.
All right. Well, what in the world happened to you and Heath Rutherford getting linked up tonight? That kind of went by the wayside.
He didn't. I told you he read the script wrong.
Okay. So somebody else wrecked him because you weren't able to get to him.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, awesome job on the win here tonight. This definitely has got to give you a boost of confidence heading into Daytona tomorrow. I know it should be a wild one. I'm hoping it'll be a little more calm. You guys started racking up the cautions right here at the end.
Yeah, I was hoping for no more yellows because I was getting kind of bored, but still won. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, well, the pushing went well, but I would like to see, maybe that last one ended up, maybe that lap 40 mark, as I think is the last one. And then we had a 54, 57, and then a 60-something. It started coming on like the plague, man. Just couldn't seem to get rid of them. What advice would you have to any of the other drivers out there who may have been in some of those cautions?
I would tell you after the race tomorrow, but I don't know.
Calm down. Calm down would be a good one.
Hey, don't go for a gap that's not there.
There you go.
It's just
Yeah,
pointless.
just kind of settle down, let the race come to you instead of charging forward. I would probably say that's a good call, but seeing I don't think you lifted once when you were pushing Jamie through 3 and 4 on that last lap, so I can't say 100% that is exactly what it's going to be. Landon, give me your shout-outs here.
I want to give a shout out to the Big Show for putting these races up.
All righty, Landon. Appreciate you getting locked and loaded here for tonight, and we'll see what you can do tomorrow.
All right.
All right, everybody. That's Landon Gentry there. We're going to try to get something worked on his widget tomorrow. I know it was definitely a short call here tonight. I do want to try to give one poke last time here with Douglas Ross. I'm going to try one more time. Douglas, you got a copy?
Hopefully you got me this time.
There we go. Man, what is it with you and the mic? I'm going to make another short about you not getting it working.
Oh man, we don't need another short with me having mic problems. It's just I'm using my phone. That's the only problem when it comes to mic issues.
Get on a headset, man. What are you doing?
I know. I got to get on the headset.
Well, how do you talk to everybody while you race?
Just skill. That's all it is.
Skill. Well, I would say skill, but it looked like somebody took the air off the nose of your car and ended up wrecking the back half of the field. What are we doing out here?
Yeah, you know, it's just it's common racing innocence when it comes to Daytona, and we were coming at the last lap, but unfortunately the 44 came up on me. Probably didn't see me coming because I had a huge run coming on the back straightaway. But it's a common racing incident. It happens, and it just stuff happens. It's no big deal on that part.
Yeah, boy. Now's where you say, now I got to clean it up tomorrow because tomorrow's the big show, and you got to get at least a top 10.
Yeah, I got to try and at least get a top 10. And I'll give you a heads up right now. I won't be calling my shot like I did in Talladega.
All right, man. Well, if you don't call your shot, then you won't look like a dummy. All right, man. Well, Douglas Ross, congratulations on your finish tonight. Ended up 14th, unfortunately. But tomorrow's another day. Same track, same people you'll be around, man. Hopefully we'll see how you do.
Yeah, it should be a better day. Hopefully tomorrow we got Imperium Motorsports' debut tomorrow for the big show. Me, Thomas Stewart, Chris Vickery, and our newest member that we just recruited tonight, Ken Couch. We'll end up trying to hopefully make a statement tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'll expect you guys to get linked up then, because the same way I saw Roger Buff racing the last time at Talladega, I want to see you guys link up and put it on here at Daytona. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
All right, everybody, and that should do it for our tonight's feature here tonight. If you haven't forgotten, I think I told you 1,000 times, simtracksbroadcasting.com. That'll have our schedule, what we've got going on tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Big show is going to be running here, and it should be definitely a good race. I'm expecting plenty of people to be showing up, especially 40-some-odd drivers. Don't forget to be ready for that one. I know it's gonna be a good one. For sure. So I will catch you guys all tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be well, be safe, be kind. See you guys next time.